afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. I've been listening to this Ashlee Janee story, and been a lot of discussions about divesting and things of that nature. Um, I'm gonna warn y'all. This live stream, I know for a fact, maybe 4 hours, and the reason it's gonna be 4 hours cause I'm basically gonna try my best to throw the kitchen sink at this because there were some things that Missy Michonne pointed out. Shout out to her. There's things that Chad Charday pointed out concerning the divester, and there was some couple things that even Queen Sheba put out. However, there are some things I'm gonna have a call out Queen Sheba Darling on a few things. Now long, it's nothing bad or anything like that. Also, I also want to point out um, some other things that can ooh, okay, that can go on with divesting. So I entitled this "The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly." So with that being said, let's get into the first thing. Messing with Sean. Let's get it.
We know you want to create a top tier podcast, clear, engaging, and truly captivating. And to make that happen,
Speed this up a little bit. You know what? I never played Messy Central song on 2.0. Messy, if you ever see this, listen to your intro song on 2.0 and figure out how banging it actually is. Hey, smell the roses. Messy's little intro on on 2.0 sound like sound like something that you would hear in a techno club. I don't know if Messy knows that or not. I try my best to look happy every day. I try my best to look happy every day, but on some of the stuff I talked about, I really can't always be happy. And on some of the stuff I'm going to talk about, it's going to be a little bit heavy, to say the least. Okay, I thought her intro was shorter than that.
They don't know, like, there's a whole thing on the internet where they're saying we don't want nothing to do with insert group. And we divested away from them and they ain't ish and talk all that trash. So then when something like this happens, they be all surprised talking about probably allegedly, I don't know, but I just can't imagine.
Okay,
they were just like, they knew that somebody was sitting around here saying that you ain't ish or black men ain't ish, because that's always it, because y'all ain't shit anyway. You already know your sassy straights. It's always, when people start talking about it, people are like, this is not the time, this is not the time. Well, it was the time when they was saying this stuff. It was the time when they was out here putting up they tweets, they twits, their posts, and anything else. And then God forbid something happens, then everybody's supposed to ignore all that.
Yeah.
Everybody's just supposed to ignore all that and keep it moving. Of course, we're the other way around with y'all. It doesn't matter. Y'all already know, right? So I'm just trying to piece together what's going on now that I see that this situation is in the area, meaning it is here in the tri-state area, is what we call it, Jersey, Delaware, and Pennsylvania. So it looks like the family is in Delaware. So what if Dr. Umar will reach out and try to do anything? Child, let me stop. Let me get you an update on something else before we start with that, though, because I don't want to let anybody miss the fact that...
Let me pause this. You know damn well Umar ain't doing a damn thing.
On that one cruise ship, you remember the brother maybe allegedly had did something to Anna Kepner, I think her name was, and then stuffed her somewhere? And they was out here talking about, we don't know what happened.
And this is a quick. If anybody's familiar with the Anna Kepler case, this here's an update on that. Which I'm gonna do my own update on my other channel, Cases and Cams. Um, Please subscribe if you're not subscribed. Thank you very much. Let's get back into it.
Happened? Child, like, none of this is a surprise. So, the stepbrother of Florida teen charged with red rum after cruise ship death.
So, Mike Page, continuing to cover top stories that we've been following in headlines all over the country. Next up, it's just up to Florida for an investigation into a cruise ship death. The Anna Kepler investigation has made a turn now. A new indictment just released, and it has the 16-year-old brother as now a suspect in the case here. So, for more on this,
Profound. They did their work. Profound.
we want to go out to Florida. Fox 35 Orlando's Marie Edinger joining us here with the latest in this investigation.
Good afternoon. So we've learned a lot just in this past day because all of these records that we've been wondering about for months now were just unsealed. This is a case that we've been following since November. We knew about a month ago or so that there was some movement in this case, and Diana Kepler's stepbrother, Toby Hudson, was certainly being looked at as primary suspect. We know now that he was formally charged and indicted, not just for her murder, but also for her rape. And he is now being charged as an adult. These are crimes that federal prosecutors in these newly unsealed documents say were willful. They say it was malicious and premeditated. Diana Kepler was 18 years old, a cheerleader at Temple Christian School.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was. My bad. I was saying that if you couldn't get the
Okay. What the hell
three
happened?
rooms, then you can't afford it. Then, or you could have put the mother in the room with the girls and the father in the room with the boys. They said
Yeah,
stepbrothers and
would
stepsisters
make
together.
sense.
What the hell? What? That don't even sound like it makes sense. It sounds like you couldn't afford the trip and you shouldn't have went. Or you should have did it with mom and the girls and dad with the boys. Especially when they already knew that he was half damn crazy allegedly and obsessed with her. So they set her up.
Ooh,
Remember her mother,
cut
she
this
even
fan
got
off.
killed her father and his
Hold
new
on.
wife, which is the mother of the kid that's charged. And remember when this happened, that mother of that kid that was charged called his actual father then, talking about, oh my God, there's a problem, you gotta help. Oh, another kid served up.
Little
In my
woman.
opinion, another kid served up.
Well, to go on to the University of Georgia. Her friend said she was ugly, stylish. The U.S. government says her stepbrother raped her, strangled her, then hid her lifeless body underneath the bed in their shared room on a cruise ship during a family vacation. It took almost 3 months to bring charges forward, then another 2 for a judge to say her stepbrother would face those charges as an adult in federal court. Only in the most heinous of acts does the FBI actually decide to move a juvenile, in this case a 16-year-old, to adult court. Jennifer Cobb is a retired FBI special agent. She's been keeping a close eye on this case, wondering whether the feds would charge a stepbrother as an adult. It's a big decision, and it's actually quite rare. The stepbrother has been occasionally under his father's care, but mostly living with an uncle at home with other minor children.
Okay, so he kind of lives with his dad. Don't sound like he lived with his mom, so he was just on vacation, and they said, yeah, we'll just go ahead and let them all share a room together. He basically lives with aunts and uncles. Why he's 6'10", why he not living with either one of y'all? Y'all already crazy. And then they're... this is pissing me off already.
It's a big decision, and it's actually quite rare. The stepbrother has been occasionally under his father's care, but mostly living with an uncle at home with other minor children, court documents say. The prosecutors want that release revoked, accusing him of the most serious, egregious, and violative crimes one person can inflict upon another. None without any warning or apparent relational strike to a person he was being raised to be as a sibling within a supportive family environment. The attorneys are
Clearly, it was not a supportive family environment. These reporters ain't shit.
argued there are no... This was no
So they want him to be free. Child, you can't make it up.
fight. This was no manslaughter. This was something that was extremely deliberate, something that was planned, and something that was premeditated. It's somebody that's capable
Hell
of
yeah,
that,
it was
a danger to the community.
Hello?
Very deliberate.
And stepbrother Timothy Hudson did have a right to argue against being charged as an adult here. He chose to waive that right in this trial. As for the push to have him put behind bars until that trial actually happens, his attorneys have 1 week to file a response. So they'll be due next Monday, April 20th.
Marie, thanks so much for those updates. Yeah, such a huge story that's been waves in November now coming more to light today. We appreciate it as always right here.
Finally. This is... oh, God. Rest in peace to that child, though. These...
Yeah, rest in peace to that child.
I'll be watching that, for sure. This is ridiculous. It looks like... oh, let me show y'all this before I get into the other thing. Because it looks like, you know, all these people that are out here fighting for the illegals to say, we want them here! We want them here! It's not right! When we know it's damn Donald Trump syndrome. Trump directly syndrome. This, especially in Chicago, when they specifically had them right
Prior to when he was reaching out to me.
We found out that our daughter had passed from the hotel. The fiance did not reach out to us at all.
Do you believe that Joe
He said the fiance? Why did he not call him? What's his name? Joe, James, something like that? The fiance is what he said.
McCann had something to do with your daughter's death?
We don't want to...
It's under investigation, and we don't know what went on.
It's under investigation, and like we said, you know, we just want transparency. Just let us know.
I want to make sure that everybody is fully aware that she was a light. She was a light. She was a beautiful person, and this doesn't align with who she is.
Understandably, the family really didn't want to talk about Joe McCann, the man who proposed to their daughter. When you go online, you can see he's the CEO of Asymmetric, which is a venture capital company that invests in crypto companies.
So, Caucasian, has financial means. Why am I not surprised? Why am I not surprised? He's Caucasian, European, has financial means. I think they did say he was European, but he has ties to Africa. But let me keep listening.
But the point is, the family wants answers. They don't understand why they haven't been able to reach Joe. They don't understand why he wasn't more forthcoming about what exactly happened to their daughter, and it's why they said they're speaking out. Next steps for them, they said.
And I won't say this again. This live stream is gonna be a long one. So if you're at work, put in your earbuds or whatever so you can listen along.
Is trying to get to Zanzibar so they can get to the bottom of what happened. I just spoke to the family of
Joe McCann. Joe McCann.
Sounds British. Yeah, he gotta be British. With that name, he gotta be
Why is he not
British
over there? Why does the
and
father
or
call him,
American.
her fiance? Why is he not calling him Joe? Does that make sense? I feel like this is a little weird. Let's see what Yahoo says. Is this?
And I'm gonna pause this again too. I don't know why, but I have a feeling that either the family didn't know this guy or the family did not trust this guy, which is the feeling I have. I'll be back in a minute.
Joe Metric crypto founder faces red rum charges in Tanzania. Since when? What's the date of today? This is the 13th, and today's the 14th. Let me see what it says. Ashlee Janee, a Miami-based lifestyle influencer, was found deceased in a luxury hotel in Zanzibar with her fiance, Joe McCann, founder of Asymmetric, stated she died by self-deletion. Tanzanian police have classified the death as a self-deletion with no foul play indicated so far, despite public accusations of foul play. I love how the public knows everything. They wasn't there. Foul play is friends and family who strongly reject the self-deletion. But again, it's another country. So what you think about here and what they do there are definitely different things. And Trey, that's what I'm saying. Did the fiance ever meet her parents? Shouldn't he be saying, I'm going to ask your daughter to marry me? Shouldn't they have been over each other's houses? Shouldn't he have come for Christmas dinner? It sounds like they don't know who the hell he is. He still would be, Joe is just here, Joe. I don't understand. Joe, you're supposed to protect my daughter. He's in charge of the crypto fund. Asymmetric is the fiance, 31-year-old Miami-based lifestyle influencer. So I guess that was her job, was to be an influencer. The couple had been on what was described as birthday engagement. McCann is one of the most recognizable names in institutional crypto, a hedge fund CEO backed by Mark Andreessen and Chris Dixon, a fixture at major conferences, and a loud, opinionated voice on everything from Solana's trajectory to macro trends and digital assets. I don't know what the fuck that means, child. Y'all could be speaking Chinese as far as I'm concerned. What do y'all know about crypto and all this stuff? I know nothing. His involvement in a high-profile case and the public accusations of foul play from Janae's friends, family strongly reject the self-deletion, have sent a visible shock to the venture capital and crypto communities. So why ain't he out here talking to nobody? Why ain't he out here talking to the family? Just like when this happened with Shanquella, well, something similar happened with Shanquella. Those kids just said, bye, and just left. I feel like you definitely got something to do with it, allegedly. But that's what it seems like to me. Why you just leaving? You ain't staying to say, oh my God, we want to know what needs to be done. This is not right. This is my friend. This is my sister. None of that. Now, I don't know if Joe has come back to the U.S., but if he did, I know it'd take a while to get there, right? Why wouldn't he go to the parents' house? Oh my God, I can't believe this. How did this happen? We was arguing about, you don't want to go talk to him. You don't want to go give him no information. You don't want to help with no closure. You don't want to do nothing. You just want to get back to work? Allegedly. I don't know what he's doing. My love says self-deletion in other countries can mean case closed. I'm pretty sure that's what it means. I think that's what it means. I mean, they probably got to go there to get the body. But here's the other thing. I'm gonna just say it, okay? Other people won't say it. We seemingly have a problem with black people being upset with everybody in government, everybody that's white, right? So if you go to, in this case, Africa, and you want the government to help you, what do you think they might think by you saying that? Now, we already know that Roland's gonna say that it's racism. I like to say that if you ain't effing with me, don't turn around later on and ask me to be effing with you. Does that make sense? So this is why I'm like, people don't be thinking ahead. You never know when you're gonna need something or somebody while you're sitting around trashing people. Because what if it's like, yeah, well, there's nothing we can do. Yeah, well, there's nothing we can do. They're going to say it's racism. I'm telling you, allegedly. I'm pretty sure that's what it's going to be. But remember that you got enough people that are dogging out the administration. Not saying that he's even in charge of it, but as a whole, everything's equated to Donald Trump. And then they turn around and say, yeah, case closed, there's nothing we can do. Child, whatever. Anyway. The fund operates on what industry calls a key man structure, meaning McCann's judgment, relationships, and decision-making are the product. He in charge. Think of it like a law firm built around one star partner. The firm doesn't function the same without them. That structure, which is common in crypto VC, blah, 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 blah. What are Joe McCann accused of? Who wrote this shit? Yahoo sucks. Joe McCann and Ashlee were in Tanzania, blah, 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 blah. No red rum charges have been filed against McCann or anyone else. The specific circumstances surrounding Janae's death have not been fully detailed in public reporting beyond the official self-deletion determination, and the investigation is described as ongoing. You know what else investigation is described as ongoing? Shanquella Robinson. You know what else is classified as ongoing? Them two heifers that was allegedly raped in the Bahamas from off of the cruise ship. Everything is ongoing. You remember those people that traveled to Mexico, and they was allegedly going for some surgery, if I'm not mistaken, and all of a sudden, out of the blue, the cartel comes through, kidnaps a couple, deletes one, and then all of a sudden they get let go? I wonder if that's still under investigation. There'd be a lot of investigation with no damn answers as far as I'm concerned. But child, what do I know? So Hollywood Unlocked got a couple things, even though I think we may have seen this. Maybe we can hear it better. Parents of late influencer Ashlee Janee continue demanding answers from Zanzibar officials and her fiance, who claim he found her unconscious after a dispute. So don't forget that they had a fight right after the proposal, that they had to be separated. So in my mind, and this is just my opinion, yeah, in my mind, you're putting all this stuff up for the internet because you got to influence, right? More than half of this shit looks staged. Staged is the word. All of it looks staged. She got her out there feeding a giraffe in high heels, child. Who the hell do that, right? Pictures, video, all for the influence. All for the influence. And people be falling for it. What if the proposal was part of the staging, allegedly? You got the poor lion saying, I'm tired of this shit, you don't pay me enough. Then it's the, will you marry me? But there's no voices, we didn't hear anything. It's just
I'm
a show.
still here, y'all. I'm just eating.
I guess you would call it. Oh my God, this is wonderful, I'm so happy. Then all of a sudden y'all in separate rooms fighting. It don't make sense. To me. A lot of stage shit. Everything, even when they were showing that one video where they were like, we want to go for tacos, and they all keep shrugging, both of them keep shrugging and whatnot. See, a lot of people won't be trying to pay attention to the fact that it's not real. It is a freaking show. It's a show. So maybe they didn't really get along after some sort of a time, but the show must go on. Allegedly, the show must go on, right? Because if this is how you make your living, and this is getting the people to follow you, which is getting you paid, the show must go on. And we're showing a lifestyle that is the best lifestyle ever, and there's so many women that love this, and they think that this is the best of the best of the best. And I gotta have a white man in it. But the dad's talking about the fiance. Child, none of this makes sense. None of this makes sense.
Did not reach out to us at all.
He did not reach out to them at all. So the kid, their kid, let me say it right. So their kid is taking on up out of here. God knew she was going over there with her fiance. Shout out to Mrs. Smell the Roses. Thanks for being here, boo, and thank you so much. Shout out to all of y'all. Please make sure you hit the like button, subscribe if you are new. So you know your kid was going out of the country to celebrate her birthday with her white man, and y'all don't even call him Sonny Boy, Joe, JM. Y'all don't tell him nothing. Y'all I mean, you can't stop her from going, of course. But he ain't been over for Christmas. They've known each other for a year. He wasn't here for last year's birthday. He ain't come over for Easter. Y'all didn't celebrate no holidays together. Y'all didn't do anything together. Okay. It's me, child. It's me.
Believe that Joe McCann had something to do with your daughter's death?
We don't have, it's under investigation, and
That dad was ready to say something, and the mom cut him off.
we don't know what went on.
It's under investigation, and like we said, we just want transparency. Just let us know.
I want to make sure that everybody is fully aware that she was a light. She was a light. She was a beautiful person, and this doesn't align with who she is.
Understandably, the family really... I just spoke to the family of Ashlee Robinson. She's a 31-year-old influencer who was on vacation with her fiancé celebrating her birthday. He actually proposed on the trip.
Child, performative. I'm telling you, that lion went through a lot that day.
But something crazy happened. She was having a good time. Her family said she was very excited to be there, shared pictures with the family, FaceTimed them when she was...
I don't know if you can see, but she got heels on. Now, I ain't never been to Africa, okay? Pretty sure when I'm out there, I'm not going to be wearing heels. And I wear them, okay? But I'm pretty sure if I'm out here, I'm not going to be wearing heels. I'm just saying. But this is what you have to... It says the credit is Ashlee Janee Instagram. Excuse me. You got to be on. You got to be on when you're selling a life, an alleged life like this. It's so great with Joe. And Joe is the best. He provides everything. Look what he did. Now he's asking me to marry him on this wonderful trip to Zanzibar, the motherland. Okay.
Proposed to. But they released a statement saying that Ashlee was found unconscious in her villa and was rushed to a local hospital where her death was confirmed hours later. I spoke to Robinson's parents. Here's some of what they had.
Everything that we knew was that she was supposed to be happy, and she was engaged. She celebrated
She was supposed to be happy?
her birthday thereafter.
Wait, this sounds like the mom didn't know that he was going to propose, so he didn't come and ask y'all, so y'all really didn't know him?
And then she's just gone. We're confused about how that could change so drastically.
What can you tell us in terms of how you found out, and have you spoken to her fiance?
I was initially contacted by him to let me know that something had occurred, and that she was in the hospital, but it was very limited communication. And
why is it limited to communication? He should be on the phone with you all damn time, every second, every moment, giving you updates, FaceTime, telling you what's going on with your kid, the woman he loves, the woman that he wanted to marry, his baby, the person that she wanted to have kids with. Where's all that at?
It's under investigation, and we don't know what's going on.
Well, Ashlee Robinson, she actually was raised locally in South Jersey, and now her death in Zanzibar is making headlines across the world. Well, today we spoke to her family in Delaware, who say they aren't getting answers from her fiance or officials in
They aren't getting answers from her fiance. Well, that don't sound right.
Tanzania about what happened to her.
Why am I not
Uncertainty.
mystery,
Why am I
anger,
not surprised?
sadness. It's like a part of me has just been taken away.
My daughter Ashley, she's no longer here with us, and we're trying to find out why.
On April 5th, influencer Ashlee Robinson, who goes by Ashlee Janee on Instagram, was celebrating her 31st birthday in Zanzibar, Tanzania. She was on the vacation with her boyfriend of 1 year, who popped the question just 2 days before.
She was starting the next chapter of her life. She called us and FaceTimed us to share with us her travel. We believe that they were,
Well, Ashlee Robinson, she actually was
in love. We believe that their relationship was genuine.
Ashlee's
No, well, they believe that they were in love. There you go. Well, maybe they do know each other. Maybe they're just mad.
mother says she never would have expected that less than a week later, her daughter would be dead. On April 8th, she says Ashlee called, saying she and her fiance got into an argument and were moved to separate rooms. The next day, she received another call, this time from her fiance.
He told me that Ashley did something to herself and that she was being taken to the hospital. I said, what happened when? And he told me it had been 11 hours prior.
Hours later, the luxury resort the couple was staying at called saying that Ashley passed away. According to
So the resort called to say that Ashley, the luxury resort, y'all. They keep saying the luxury resort called to say that she passed away.
She's never done anything that would ever lead me to believe that she would do something to harm herself.
She was not just going to be discarded and forgotten about.
and the family, as you just heard, they are just desperate for information. They tell us that they are requesting surveillance footage from the resort. They also say that they have contacted police, the consulate, and embassy, and have not heard back.
The American embassy, y'all. Remember what I said? The American embassy. So when people out here wilding out and doing shit and think it might not affect you one day, well, it just might. Everything is racist, and no one does anything for black people. How could you? I'm not saying that got anything to do with it, but I'm just saying it definitely don't help. It definitely don't help. It's just like defund the police. Defund the police. Then you go and you call the police and say, what happened? What happened?
News, we also tried to contact Ashley's fiance, and we also did not get a response. The family says their next steps are going to Zanzibar themselves to try to get answers. We're live in the satellite.
This is all a game.
Here we go. Yeah.
I'm not talking about what happened to her. This is all a game. And you dumb isms be falling for it. Oh, that's great. That's great. This is just not typically how this shit happens. They are selling a dream.
Yeah. This is performing for sale.
I'm waiting for mine. This is a. I hate to say
this is a show.
Quote unquote Cinderella story. Oh, we met a year ago, and everything is everything, and he's rich, and I'm rich, and then we go to Africa, back to the motherland, and then I get proposed to with a.
You know what this reminds me of? Smell the Roses. I don't know if you're here or not. You remember the story, Queen of Kings? How she had him propped up like he was a 6-figure dude, and come to find out the dude was broke and had no job, and they were living off of her YouTube check. I don't know if y'all remember that or not. I don't know why, but I have a weird feeling that this situation right here, when everything comes out, I have a feeling that he was not rich, that this guy is not rich as he claims. I don't know why, but I got a feeling that a Bernie Madoff situation for this guy is coming. I don't know why, but that's what I feel right now.
Lion in front of me and ciao. All right. So yeah. So that's that. As far as she's concerned. Let me go and take a look at. I don't feel like dealing with TikTok, but.
Oh yeah, I forgot you said that last night. I mean, I was in the chat, but I wasn't like in the chat because I was trying to find stuff on him and his family, and for some reason, I know it's there, but I just can't find it yet, and I can't figure out why. And like I said, this live stream is going to be a long one, so as I'm going through stuff, I'm also looking for stuff as well.
But there was another dude whose wife, I guess, they went to the Bahamas and now she ain't come home and they let him go. I don't know about this. Brian Hooker? What a name. An American man who told investigators his wife fell overboard and vanished in rough waters in the Bahamas has been released from custody without charges after being arrested. But, John, they're just going to keep taking people over to other places.
11 tonight, the husband of a woman who was reported missing in the Bahamas after going overboard on a dinghy has been released from police custody. Ryan Hooker's attorney says he is free
I
to
need to
leave
get
the
the name
Bahamas.
of this
Hooker's pregnant wife of
fiance.
25 years, Lynette, fell into the ocean while they were boating back on April 4th, and then she was swept away by the current. His attorney also said police have not
Okay,
provided
Joe
an update on the
McCann.
search for his wife.
Damn! So she was out on a dinghy and she fell over and you was like, all right, I'll see you. I'm not trying to be rude, y'all, but some of these stories are crazy. Some of this mess is out fucking rageous. The other countries don't work like the USA that y'all be hating so much. The other countries don't work like that. They just said, you can go. So Reaper sent me Michael Prewitt ain't shit, okay? Between you and One True. Reaper sent me the story about this other girl. Lord have mercy. So somebody named Denisha Delancey went on a vacation to St. Martin. Well, I didn't make it, but prayers that I would have come back. But I would have been taken up out of here by no man. Denisha Delancey went on vacation to St. Martin with her sisters and tragically passed away after unknowingly hooking up with a wealthy... Goodbye. Hooking up with a wealthy DRUG lord who had a $1 million bounty on his head, and both have passed away. Yeah, they're making that YouTube friendly. What in the effing...
Trigger warning, this is a very sad story. Once again, trigger warning, this is a real sad story that happened between a woman and a man on vacation. Okay, so let me read this. So sad. Denisha Delancey went on vacation to St. Martin with her sister and tragically passed away after unknowingly hooking up with a wealthy rug lord who had a $1 million bounty on his head. Both have passed away. So this is the story. Denisha went on a trip with her sister, right? St. Martin. They got an Airbnb. It was nice. They was chilling. Apparently, they went out to the club that night because they...
You know what? I could never stay in an Airbnb, y'all. I just feel like they be finding cameras and shit. Y'all take me to the hotel. Girl, you wanna come to my hotel? Yes. Send me to the Hilton.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you something. Sorry, I got paused messy for a second. This here is called Hindustan Times. Whoever the hell they are. And I just asked a question. Who is Joe McCann? According to them, he's the founder and CEO of Asymmetric Financial, and it's a recognized name in crypto and finance circles. Now, I know here's my personal my thing with crypto. I do not trust crypto at all. I don't trust it. Joe's bio on Asymmetric Financial's website reads, Joe McCann is the founder, CEO, CIO, and sole managing GP of Asymmetric. Joe has over 25 years of experience working on Wall Street and in Silicon Valley. Previously, Joe was a senior director at Microsoft, head of quantitative trading at Passport Capital, and the co-founder slash CEO of NodeSource, a venture-backed open source startup that exited in 2019. Joe has been investing in Web3 startups and trading crypto since 2016 and is an advisor to dozens of crypto-related startups. An April 4th post shared by Ashlee shows her and Joe walking with a lioness when Joe gets down on one knee and proposes with a ring. Then the two kiss. Still taking this in somewhere in Africa, the post is captioned. And of course, there's a post of her in Africa. And there's another post on her Instagram that is her in New Orleans. Looks like Mardi Gras. Las Vegas. So, looks like her and this guy are here, there, everywhere. From what I'm looking at. You know what? Since we're here, let's check out that IG, shall we? There's looks like pictures on in Africa. There's Africa pictures here. Pictures of her in New Orleans. Looks like Colorado. Somewhere in Phoenix. Beach, beach, beach. Private jet. Paris. Milan. This girl here was every damn where. Okay. Basically, the point I'm making is that, this young lady basically thought that she had the life she wanted, but unfortunately, the life she wanted was not good to her. Unfortunately, let me go back to messing with Sean.
Okay, I'm not staying in no Airbnb.
Turned up and had a driver. They went to the club and they met this man there. This guy right here.
You went to the club and met a man. Okay.
He turned up in the club with them. He must have been throwing big money, okay? Because apparently Delisha kind of liked him, and he took them home. They told the driver.
I guess, you want to have a good time on vacation. Take a person you just met in the club 3 hours ago back to the Airbnb, right?
For now, we don't need you. He gonna take us home. When they got home, her sister and whoever else they went with went back in the Airbnb. She decided to go back out with the man. Now, unbeknownst to her, she riding with a drug dealer. And the island got money on his head. Amanda.
So, child, they got drug dealers out there in San Martin, too? Lord help your people.
So her sister wake up or later in the night, she start getting suspicious, and the driver called and say, I just want to make sure everything was good with y'all. And she said, you know what, everything's good with us but my sister. She went back out with old boy that we see in the club, but they ain't come back.
Because you don't go out with people you don't know by yourself. And you don't take them back to where you live. You enjoy your night there at the club, and you take your driver and carry your ass home.
Then the driver find the time to tell him, that man is a rug lord. They got money on his head. Why you ain't say shit before, Cletus?
Oh, now all of a sudden it's his...
Really?
Now it's all of a sudden his fault, not the person that went out with a man that they didn't know, that they just met, not the person that brought him back to where she lives, not the person that said, we're going to dismiss you because we're going to ride with him. Goodbye.
So, come to find out, police officers call and say, the car flipped, that there was in it, a man and a woman occupying it, and both of them is alive. Well, apparently, it ain't had nothing to do with the car wreck. It was a hit, okay? Prayers go out to her family because they had a funeral in Miami, man. She had to get shit back to the States. But this is why y'all got to sit still on these vacations. Don't be minding vacation business. Your ass there to enjoy yourself. People living their lives. Prayers go out to Nisha Delancey and her family.
Child, let me keep getting up on that ship. I'm going to stop for a few hours and carry my ass back on there. Because these people crazy. You already know I think everybody's crazy, but these people is really crazy. Let me give you this one, child. This is more about her. Child, this is crazy.
Ashlee Delancey from Miami, who traveled to St. Martin with her sister and friends to celebrate her birthday. After meeting local businessman Quincy Sylvester at a nightclub, she stayed with them when her group returned to their Airbnb. Hours later, their vehicle was ambushed and overturned, resulting in the deaths of both Sylvester and Delancey at the scene. Police obtained nightclub surveillance footage showing unidentified individuals tracking Sylvester before the shooting, suggesting a premeditated execution. Authorities suspect Sylvester, a Trinidadian national, of using his...
Oh, no. Oh, no. Not a Trinidadian. Oh, Lord. Gotta be more careful, Jack. Gotta be more careful.
Execution. Authorities suspect Sylvester, a Trinidadian national, of using his PVC pipe business as a front for drug trafficking and having connections to organized crime. Delancey, who had no criminal history, was likely an unintended victim caught in the targeted hit. While one suspect has been arrested, others remain at large as the investigation continues. This is truly a sad story, and it's crucial for women to exercise caution when meeting strangers, regardless of their local.
You mean to tell me that you should be cautious in another country and meeting people and not being alone with them and not going back to where they live or letting them come back to where... What?
I think this here would be common sense. What do y'all think? That there should be common sense.
What? What a concept.
Or financial status. The enjoyable time they had together was not worth the risk of losing her life. Many people in the comments have expressed their frustration, questioning why the sister allowed her to leave or suggesting that she should have gone with her.
Hell no.
Hell, I just told you that.
Taking on up out of here too. Do you see how these people come through with these crazy ass reasons to absolve a person who made the decision to do things
no damn
with common sense that you shouldn't have been doing? So now it's the sister's fault for not going so she could be taken on up out of here. Then it's the driver's fault for not telling them because it's his responsibility, not yours, to say, you know what? This just does not seem safe. Boo, call me. Just call me. It can't be the end of the day. Child, please.
I assumed that both were intoxicated and didn't realize the danger they were in. If the sister had gone with her, she would have been unalived as well.
Exactly.
My heart goes out to the family of Denisha DeLancey, and I offer my deep condolences during these difficult.
Lord help your people. I just don't understand. It is not for me to understand, I guess. I actually had a video from let me see if I can find it. Hold on. Philip Scott. Here we go. Because some of these things are really about people, women divesting. And I'm telling you, there's a lot of people that don't know about it. I didn't know about it till I got on up on this internet.
Yeah, me neither.
So
I
he has
didn't know
this
what
one here.
divesting
Remember
was
this
till
one,
I
right?
got up here neither.
Lauren.
The time the police claimed it was an old, not old, when we say old, we think elderly, a white man that just found her, dead on the bed. The police, they gave the family basically run around. It didn't treat them, like they should treat them whatsoever. But now the toxicology report has come out, and it actually said what she died of. And also, as people put up things on social media, things are found. Lauren said some one interesting thing in particular that caught definitely my attention. But let's go ahead and roll this clip so you can actually hear everything what's being said, even with the family the same. Let's go ahead.
Step of 23-year-old Lauren Smithfield.
He was careless. There was no concern. There was no care for feeling about how we felt, our grief, our pain, none of that.
The IT update this police report of the response to a 911 call from Lauren's apartment on the morning of December 12th from a white male identified as Matthew Lookup.
Oh yeah, that was her apartment. She let him come back to her. Y'all, what is the problem?
Damn
I forgot.
fool.
She let that man come back to her place.
The investigator notes he was trembling and visibly shaken. LeBounton said they met on the dating site Bumble, began drinking shots of tequila, and Lauren became ill. That later they played some games, ate some food, and started to watch a movie. He says he carried her to her bedroom and laid her in her bed. He then laid down next to her and fell asleep. He woke up again at approximately 0630 hours, and she was laying on her right side. Blood was coming out of her right nostril onto the bed, and she was not breathing.
The whole day goes by. Police reach out to the family at all.
Her close-knit family says they went to the apartment the next day after frantically calling and texting Lauren and were referred to a Detective Cronin.
We ain't in contact with them. We don't know anything. It's like crazy. And that's what's going on. He said she met somebody on Bumble, and the maximum of the guy, he sounded like a really nice guy. He sounded like a really good guy. And he's like, I'll call you back.
They say the detective promised to come by the apartment, and he never showed up. The family says the relationship with police devolved from there. No contact from December 13th until December 29th. They returned to the apartment to clear out Lauren's belongings and claim a new detective came by to say he'd taken over the case from Detective Cronin.
He messed up. And F Cronin, he messed up. And like, he didn't know what he was doing. He messed up the case.
The family says they provided evidence they collected to crime scene investigators who arrived for the first time that day, including a bloody sheet and a bill.
And 2 cups of like drinks or whatever next to a bottle. We didn't take none of that. We seen a condom. We seen lube, other stuff in there. They didn't take none of it.
Sources close to the investigation tell.
Oh, so they did do the wild thing. I thought that he just laid down next to her. Ain't that what he said? Yeah, put her in bed, and I laid down next to her, and we both went to sleep. A lot of details sound like was missing, Chef.
The IT that Matthew Lookup picture in his social media photo now removed was the man at Lauren's apartment. A neighbor at his listed address in Milford confirmed LeBounton's identity, but we were unable to reach the 37-year-old who has not been accused of any wrongdoing. LeBounton's same image appeared under the name Matthew Thomas, now also taken down.
Anyone that generally cared and they were the last person here and they know that nothing bad happened, you better see reach out to the family yourself. Listen, I'm sorry for your loss of your daughter or your sister.
The family's last contact.
Yeah, people be expecting a lot from other people. I mean, I guess I would expect that the fiance that came and fianced my child would come and speak to me and let me know what happened and give us all the details, but they didn't do that. I don't understand. So this strange man that they met on Bumble and then he came over, you think he gonna reach out to you? He probably didn't even know that lady's last name. Allegedly. I don't know.
That with police was on January 4th at headquarters with their attorney.
What I believe is that the police failed to collect the first day.
The attorney has now filed a notice of claim to sue Bridgeport for negligence, claiming key evidence was not initially submitted to the state lab.
I feel like she's a white guy, she's a black girl. It's just almost like they just thrown under the rug.
That night she was silent, so now we are her voice.
Well, as you can see, the guy that
Well, there you go. But they don't be knowing about divestment. I'm telling you, they don't be knowing about no divestment.
Nope,
supposedly
they
found her,
don't.
and he didn't buy anything. He's 37 years old. He's not no elderly man or anything like that. Now, as we all do, she met this man on the app called Bumble. He says allegedly that they met up, went to the crib, with drinks of tequila, played some, I guess, video games or whatever. They ate food.
Sound like they may have done a little bit more.
And he said that he just, took her to her bedroom and he just, he went to sleep. And he woke up by 6:30 in the morning and he noticed that, there was blood coming out her nose and she was not breathing. Now, as the toxicology report said, that she definitely had tequila in her system, but also she had fentanyl in her system. Now, fentanyl is not something that a lot of black folks fool with. We hear a lot of folks fooling with fentanyl, not black folks. Now, I know a few black folks now, believe it or not, are lacing, their reefer with this stuff. And black folks who keep getting around these other people that they do a whole lot more than you, you're gonna have the same results. Fentanyl can actually take out an elephant. Do you know that?
No, I didn't know that. Ain't that what Michael Jackson had in his system? Good morning, Anthony Allen. Thank you so much. Shout out to all of y'all that are here. Please click the like button for me. Subscribe if you are new. Shout out to the elephant.
Fentanyl is that powerful. What are you doing fooling with any kind of fentanyl at all, right? Fentanyl is extremely powerful. So that was in her system. And then if you go to her Facebook page, which is still up, he's going to give you an idea of who Lauren Smithfield was.
Was she an influencer?
And the way they're trying to portray her right now versus what she posted on her own page. So let me tell you something. When I was, a single man, I was dating or whatever, the first thing that I would like to see is a woman's social media page. The reason why is because this is what she put up about herself. This is what she says. Completely. This is her thoughts. This is her postings. So it gives you a good clue on what this woman is.
Honestly, when I first saw her, I thought it was an ABCD, but that's just me.
Right? If you men will take 5 minutes to go through on the social media page, look at the kind of pictures she's posted, look what she's saying, who she's hanging around with, what she's kind of taking pictures at. You know what I'm saying? To give you kind of a clue, you can actually weed out certain women if you look at the social media postings. So as you look at her social media postings, there's not nothing that I can say is, some sort of church girl.
Not wholesome.
No, it's not that whatsoever. But a lot of them these days aren't. She's a modern female. But there was one particular post.
So in other words, her social media is on the whorish side.
They got a lot of brother's attention, and I want to make sure Brother Elvis put this picture up. So As you see here, it said Lauren Smithfield. She posted this January 30th, 2020. One person that says, when I start dating white.
Let me tell you something. A lot of these people look very alike and similar. Very alike and similar. Okay.
Yeah, they do.
You're right. My bad.
Yeah, they do,
I'm telling you,
Messy.
some of these people's families, they don't be knowing about no damn divestment. What they be doing as they influencing out here, being influencing. You know, it's a lot of influencing. Between the influencing and the conversations, child, my head is spinning right now.
Men, just know I tried my hardest with you colors. And then,
child, I be trying my hardest with your colors, but it be y'all, okay? Y'all.
Lauren Smithfield said in January 30th, 2020, this me AF. Now, that's a messed up comment, Lauren. I just, we got to boo you on that. Lauren,
No, you don't boo her on that comment, because that's what she said, that's what she meant, that's how she felt, that's who she was. There's no booing her. You want people to tell you the truth. You want people to tell you what it is. That's what it is. But these people's families, I'm telling you, don't be knowing about the internet. I'm telling you, and what they be putting out there, and what they be saying, and what they be telling people, and honestly, what they be doing. Come on now. They don't be talking and telling what it is that they be doing. Oh, I took this money and went over here with this dude. This dude offered to take me over here, so I went with him, blah, 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 right? There's a dude that just, Flacco did a video on him. I don't forget his name. I guess he's a rapper. And he is being accused of hitting some girl on a yacht. And, of course, he said he didn't do it. Then, of course, the video came out because they was videotaping it. And he mollywopped that biatch. These are all people under 30. They're on a...
And the person that Messy's referencing, believe the dude's name is Deshae Frost or something like that. I think he's either a rapper or he's kind of like I think he's a rapper or he's kind of like the Kai Sanat guy. I don't know. Whatever.
A ship or something, not a carnival ship, but something where they got it downstairs and it was naked girls. Like this is on Live Bites channel. They naked, and then the girls out there, and they bathe in suits, and they all on the high seas, probably in Miami. And allegedly, he wanted to sleep with her, and she said no, even though they was in the front of the boat, so I don't know where the sleeping was coming from. But then again, they was naked. Not them, but there was other people that was naked, so maybe. But she was also Breaking Bad. Like, you're not going to tell me. But talking to the rapper, maybe he's a Kick Twitch person, actually. And, he probably paid for all of this. Like, what do y'all think when you go on these things that the expectation is? I just be so confused as to why, if you put yourself in some of these situations, that you don't know what it is. Yes, that's his name, Deshae Frost. Okay, content creator. All right, that's fine. He mollywopped that girl. And I'm not saying he should, because, keep your hands to yourself. But she was definitely all up in his face talking greasy. You know what I mean? So, you out in the middle of the ocean, y'all on this trip, or on this boat, these people running around naked. What did y'all think it was about? Like, I'm going to need people to please stop these games. You're going to go out here and be on the internet, and you want to portray this fake-ass life, allegedly. You want to, make it seem like everything's a soft life, and you can have it too, and you just be falling for it. Everybody on this internet is lying. Everybody. You take it for what it is. It is entertainment for the moment, then you move the hell on with your damn life. But for some reason, people can't do it. So you're striving to try to obtain something that person, for the most part, hasn't obtained their damn selves. It's ridiculous. KP Monroe, thank you, hon. Good morning. I love your live streams. Thank you so much. Appreciate your support, and thank you for being here. You guys are the best. It's early in the morning on a Tuesday, 7:30. All right, I give it a little bit more time. So, yeah, we know about this Lauren Fields girl, and I don't think that was ever resolved, or anything like that. I don't believe, y'all let me know, I don't think anything ever happened. That man did not get held accountable, and they done moved on. Let me catch another one that he has. He has a whole file here. Let's see. Divestment tells the accident caused by Zaddy.
And this woman's claims that Zaddy it was an accident that Zaddy did to her. It wasn't like what people saying it is. So back in 2018, this particular sister and her husband Donald were relaxing, and they go prepared to cook food on their.
Child, what do you got me for? They ain't no good looking white men. Besides the ones that are here. Child, ain't no good looking white men. Lord help your people. Shout out to Snow.
Outdoor fire pit. Now,
what the hell does this man look like? Look like damn Uncle Fester? You sitting here with this Uncle Fester looking son of a bitch? Really? Really? Uncle Fester.
it said Donald prepared the fire and Tanya leaned over. And lighter fluid sprayed on her arm, face, and hair, causing her to go up in flames. Now, hold on. How many of you have prepared barbecue before? We all know if we use a lighter fluid, where's the lighter fluid going to go? It's going to go on the charcoal. And most people aren't around anywhere. They're not leaning into anything. They're not doing that. And let's say if I'm doing something and I see my wife, hold on, back up, I'm trying to work on this over here, right? You mean to tell me that it's an accident that the lighter fluid went on her arm, her face, and her hair?
Oh, I do remember. Oh my God. Shit, I forgot about this one, y'all.
Damn.
Just look at Cletus though. Ain't no way. What are you seeing, Cletus? What? I know beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but damn, look at Cletus. Goodbye. Goodbye. I don't be nowhere near no grill, you heard? I don't be nowhere near no
Damn,
grill.
he
I'm a
fucked
punk,
that
okay?
poor girl
Child, I'm
up.
gonna be over here. Let me know if you need me. I'm not coming. Hell, you can barely get me to come over there when it's time to take the food off to the grill. Cause that flame be flaming sometimes, y'all. Like, seriously. I'm a punk. I don't care.
So what was he doing? Just spraying lighter fluid everywhere?
Yeah.
You know good well that didn't happen. Any man would know that didn't happen. Listen, y'all in the comments know exactly
No, it was lighter fluid clearly being thrown everywhere.
Yeah.
And he wasn't protecting her. Don't sound like protection to me.
what happened was Addie here, okay? So Tanya,
No
sister, said she was in Atlanta,
protection.
and said she was taken to the hospital immediately when her burns were so severe that she was placed in a home to perform extensive reparative surgeries and on her, including a full face skin burn. Now, Tanya spent a total of 6 months in the hospital, and even when she was released, she would return regularly for various surgeries. Now, Zaddy was furious at himself for the accident and stayed by her side at all times, keeping a diary for her to read as they once she was taken out of the coma. Now, see, the hospital provided $2.2 million for her surgeries, but were unable to pay anymore, and Tanya had no insurance. So luckily, the staff applied for state assistance for her and managed to secure her extra funding. That's interesting to say that happened in the United States of America. In total, her surgeries have cost over $2.7 million, but she's only halfway done. Now, Tanya said, my husband and I were outside the fire pit week before Christmas 2018. He got late, so I decided to go inside and get the meat to make dinner. Okay, that's what she said. She said that when I came back out, I reached in to put the meat on the grill. My husband was still building up the fire, but I didn't realize it. He squirted the lighter fluid, which hit my hair, my arms, and my clothes. I went up like a match.
Is that making excuses? Because, child, if you do, just say you accidentally do squirt me, okay? Hair, arm, leg, all that. I'm going to walk away from the flame. I got to go take a shower, child. Is it me?
Now, any of you who prepared the fire, the grill is not even on there. How you going to put the meat on there? And he's still preparing the fire. How? And even you squirting the lighter fluid, right? Or whatever. Normally, you tell the person, hold on, back up, because I need to light this up, right?
Right.
So you say you put the meat on there, but he just squirted lighter fluid everywhere? It still doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me at all. Now, she said after that, I was in the hospital for 6 months. She said for the first 2 months, due to pain and the fact that I had to have surgery every week, she said I was put in a medically induced coma. Now, she said all the skin that you see on me, none of that is my burn skin. She said that skin was too badly burned to be salvaged. She said even my face is a full skin graft. She said when she woke up, she spent a month trying to get my bearings by working. She said with physical therapists. She said all my muscles had atrophy. Now, she continued to say I couldn't walk, I couldn't swallow. She said I couldn't even wiggle around.
Girl, that's enough. I've had enough. You got a lot over here, though. I'm trying to see if there's another one that we've heard of before. Actually, oh no, that's Lawrence Smith again. Let me see who the hell this one is.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start a new series on this channel. Starting with this one, we're going to call this one Divestment News, episode
Kiara Anderson.
number 1. The reason why we're going to do this is because this is a
Damn,
PhD,
he
like
got a
music,
lot
like
of
this.
them.
It is to protect the young girls from the propaganda from the divestment queens that will lead them to a horrible, horrible path. Now, we have one of our sisters,
AKA
Kiara
Shira
Anderson. I
7,
want you to listen to what happened with Kiara here. Quite sad, and her children.
Cynthia G.
Stunned neighbors watched SWAT officers from the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office swarm the outside of a home after 911 calls alerted them to a man who may have shot his wife and children inside the home. The videos and other photos from neighbors show how this quiet neighborhood instantly turned into a crime scene. It wasn't until later when deputies made entry into the home that they discovered 30-year-old Jonathan Anderson, his wife 29-year-old Kiara, and 2 sons, 5-year-old Joseph and 2-year-old Jeffrey, dead from gunshot wounds. Detectives had not released a motive behind the shooting, but say Joseph Anderson shot and killed his family before taking his own life. Neighbors tell 10 TV they did not hear or know of anything that would have led them to believe something bad was about to happen. This Applebee's in Lancaster is where Kiara used to work. Her co-workers have set up a table in her honor.
Child, that might be the problem. I mean, it is Applebee's.
The table is draped with an army hat and flag in honor of her service to the country, as well as several photos inside her home. Outside her home, a growing memorial with children's balloons honors the couple's 2 children who lost their lives. As the rest of the neighborhood prepares to celebrate Christmas, one family is left to mourn the loss of 4 people and wonder why this happened and could have been prevented. Kevin Landers, 10 TV News.
So as you heard, Kiara, she was a veteran of the U.S. Army. She had 2 children with Zaddy here. Now, she ended up meeting him while she was in the military. That's that with him. Some other things came out after this report that her sister had said that there was trouble in the house with Zaddy. Okay, and Kiara
Not trouble in the house with Zaddy.
was getting her divorce papers together.
Oh,
And
no, not another divorce.
the time that she was trying to get her divorce papers together, they were separated for a time, but she wanted to, trying to figure out the situation with her children and Zaddy here. Okay, so Kiara was actually ready to move on with her life and say she was happy, but that's not what Zaddy wanted, for Kiara. So as Kiara was going to leave him, Zaddy here decided to take Kiara's life and her 2 children and himself. Now, in these divestment news, segments, we always will present the statement. I thought that y'all said that Zaddy don't do things like black men. And I don't know too many brothers that's sitting up here. It's rare they do. Some of them have done it.
Talk
That's
to
rare.
him.
I don't know too many brothers that's constantly keep doing things like this. Now,
Talk to him.
I'm a news guy. I do that plenty. I've done it for going on 10 years. I would tell you Zaddy has done this a lot within his community. He has. And everything you claiming that black men this and black men that, sorry. Now if you had a couple of bad experiences with brothers, okay, I get it. I mean, not all brothers are good, but not all sisters are good either. But you don't sit up here and propagandize another group of people and thinking they're the holy grail and nothing will happen to you. You understand?
No, that's what they do. And this is the point right here.
Yep.
Is that they do it on the internet. That's the other thing too. Most of the time, they do not do it with their family, tell their family, explain nothing about how they feel to their families. They don't. Just talk the ish on the internet. And then obviously their family knew about her because they was married or whatever. But then you try to, don't try to play your shit off to be wonderful to the rest of the world. We don't care. We ain't got to live with these people.
Yeah,
There's
we
people
don't
that's
give a
around here
damn.
Trying to just, in my opinion, like the girl, Ashlee Janee, allegedly. I don't know, allegedly. Trying to pass this life off like it's a wonderful life and he's giving me everything and these colors don't do shit and we got it going on. How come the women's never call that shit out? They never, ever, ever call that shit out. I'm not even talking about the fact that they was with white men and that's what they, said was better and the best and all that shit. Not even talking about that. Good morning, Prime. I'm just talking about the fact that afterwards, once you hear and see what the heck it is that these people were saying, say, like, y'all, you got to stop, because that's not how you should be doing this. You go and you deal with the person that treats you right and the best. You don't do this because everyone else is doing it. You don't do this because what you allegedly see on the daggone internet. You don't do this because you just think that that person's going to be better. A man is either good or he's not, regardless of what the race is. And you need to be understanding who the hell it is that you're dealing with and not doing crazy stuff that's going to get you into these damn situations. No one ever say that. They don't ever say none of that. Just be like, oh, white men are better. Child, a man is a man is a man, okay? A person is who they are, and that's where you figure.
And that's what pisses me off, is that there are some women trying to teach that, quote unquote, the white man is better. Bull fucking shit. Ain't no man better than the other man. Number one. Number two, demons come in every shade, every color, every height, width, whatever. So just because you got a black guy over here and a white guy over here does not mean that a white guy is better. And for Cheryl 7 to try to imply that bullshit, and yes, I'm calling you out, ho. Kiss my whole entire black ass. And Siffy G, you bald-headed troll, you used to say the same shit. Again, kiss my black ass, you bald-headed troll.
And that's where you figure out if they are a good person or not. They all made the same for the most part, okay? I would think. Real men, okay? This narrative is crazy. I'm telling you, these people ain't telling their family this. Who is Rochelle Anderson? Rochella Anderson.
We have another unfortunate incident with a sister by the name of Rochella Anderson. Now, this woman was dating a zaddy, and I want you to hear exactly what happened with that situation. Let's wait a little bit.
News 4 was told by the manager of the roadway inn that he discovered blood outside of room 333. He reviewed surveillance video and saw a man step outside the room covered with blood. The manager called police. Investigators with Allegheny County Police say Matthew Grimshaw was...
Now, Black Biatches, come on now. Now, Black Biatches, come on now. I ain't seen I'm lying. The one with Lawrence Smithfield, he alright looking. But I ain't seen the good looking white man yet. Come on now. Come on now. What are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? This is crazy. This is ridiculous.
Every person I saw so far is average at best.
Thank you, boo. He says Daddy will hide and go seek you forever and for. Oh, Lord. I can't do this. I can't do this.
When they arrived and tried to hide the knife, they discovered the body of his girlfriend, Rochella Anderson, under the bed. In the criminal complaint, it says she was stabbed several times and was scalped. Upon searching the room...
Scout.
Detectives say they found Anderson's scalp and teeth in a bathroom trash can. Grimshaw was arrested.
They said the teeth in the bathroom. Hold on.
Rochella Anderson, under the bed. In the criminal complaint, it says she was stabbed several times and was scalped. Upon searching the room, detectives say they found Anderson's scalp and teeth in a bathroom trash can.
Damn.
Child, I can't do this. They found her scalp and her teeth in the damn bathroom.
Damn.
Grimshaw was arrested and taken to Forbes Regional Hospital to be treated for cuts. When detectives say he made several statements. The criminal complaint says this.
He was defending himself
About Grimshaw's statements. Quote, didn't like murdering a woman. And he was up all night cleaning up from the barbaric act. And had to do what I had to do. Grimshaw's parents tell Pittsburgh's Accidents 4 they're devastated and shaken by the event.
Can I just say that you're not taking me to a roadway inn either? Even when we had
Ain't
no money,
no
child, you're not
damn
taking
way.
me to a roadway inn. That's not where we going.
Ain't no way.
That's just me, though. Just had to put that in there.
They say Grimshaw and Anderson were at their home for Christmas and were very close. But they say their son was diagnosed as bipolar at Westmoreland Behavioral Health Services 2 years ago. They also said
Wonder where he inherited that from.
he stopped taking his medication recently. But even in his sickness, they say he would never imagine taking another person's life.
That is one of the most heinous things. And I just can imagine, that just even happens to a sister like that. But the divestors is on here saying, Zaddy,
Sorry
never,
about
lay a
that.
finger on a hair on your head. Zaddy is the best option. This is what the divestors say on the internet. But
That is true.
Yeah.
ask them, okay, well, what about Rochella here? I mean, listen, say what you want to say about brothers. I'm not saying every brother out here is an angel. They're not. Okay? Brothers can't get that far to even do a whole lot of things. You call the police one time on a brother, they taking him to jail. When it comes to these zaddies, they're not going to go to jail like that. It takes a lot. I mean, listen to what the guy done. He not only stabbed the sister, he scalped her. Cut a teeth out of her mouth. Listen, that is heinous. Then they try to back door and say, oh, because he had a mental health issue. Now, every person that got a mental health issue is not doing things like that. That is who that zaddy is as a person.
Child, look, what the heck? Let's look at this picture.
Health issue. Now, every person that got a mental issue is not doing things like that.
I'm just so confused, y'all. I'm just so confused. There's a lot of settling going on around here.
Yeah.
I thought nobody settled. You're settling for the roadway inn. You settling for Huckleberry Finn and shit. You settling for mental disorders. You settling for fake lives. All this freaking settling to your own detriment. I'm telling you, and these parents and stuff don't know nothing about it. Let me get one more. Shout out to the Phil Scott Show. Hopefully we all follow him. Um, let's see. I'm trying to see if there's one. Let me go to do the lady that has the bonnet on. Let's see what that's about.
Here on this another episode of Now This Entails. And it's good things she's going to say that I really want to talk about because she's always going to say these things. But yeah, let's go ahead and roll this clip.
This is how I also further know the black community
Child, we have seen this lady before. Oh, Lord.
Oh, yeah, we're done
is doing
here.
way too much in emotion and not reasoning. I told you I was divesting from black men.
Yeah, we're done with Messi. So, that was Messi's take on this whole situation and divestment. Now we're gonna go. Oh Lord. Okay. I didn't know that Queen Sheba Darling was on for 3 hours. We're not gonna do the whole 3 hours, but I do want to do a good chunk of it. With that being said, let's get it.
In two separate rooms. I'm going to assume Ashlee was placed in a different room
I'll be back in a second, y'all.
because Joe had the money. This leads me to think, why were you in Ashlee's room? How did you get a key to go to Ashlee's room? What's the point of separating the two if he still has access to her and if he can still come in her room? That's why I'm assuming that Ashlee was pulled out of the main room. I could be wrong, placed in a supplemental room, but because it's on his card, he can request a key. This is all circumstantial. This is all assumption. We are brainstorming this thing together. Because how would you gain access to her room if you're supposed to be separated? How would you know that she's been dead for 11 hours if you were not in her room? How would you even know that she committed suicide if you were not in her room? How do you know that somebody else didn't come in there and do it? No. Listen to me. Listen to me. Oh, that's a good one. You said he could have rescinded the proposal. That's a third option. Think about what I'm saying. They're separated because of a fight. Ashlee's probably placed in a different room to cool down. If Joe is supposed to remain in his room and Ashlee's supposed to remain in her room, there's no way Joe would know that she took her own life. You can't know that. All you know is I found her like this. And if you're the first on the scene, that would mean that somebody gave you a key. Why did you need a key to her room? Listen, just follow me. Don't get ahead. Don't get ahead. So somebody's not being forthcoming about all of the information. Either it's the hotel, it's Joe, or a combination of both. Even if Joe did absolutely nothing to Ashlee, my first question as the FBI and as her parents is, if you say that they were out of control and the argument was so heated, then why the hell did you give him a key to her room? That tells me there's a little bit of influence. There's a little bit of privilege, right? So now we got to use the white card here. Because you're in an African country, you're having a fight with a black female, that so much so that they're like, oh my God, the best thing to do is to separate them. Then why would you turn around and give this white man a key to her room if you're concerned for her safety? And the only thing that would make logical sense is because he's the guy with the money. He's the guy with the money. He's the guy with the power. Okay, let's just say. Because, yeah, you had to have given him a key to her room. So if we go with the theory of the internet, people are saying there's no, well, not even the theory. Her family's saying there's no way Ashlee would take her own life. So we're going to lean into that. The family, the friends, loved ones are advocating. They say, if you know Ashlee, there is no way. So let's go with that. There is no way she would take her own life. She was so distraught she had to be placed in a separate room. Okay. You hand off a key to the guy that you separated her from. I'm going to say, as a woman, then, you put her in danger, the hotel. So you have a responsibility here. You have a little bit of liability here, right? Whether she took her own life or not, you gave him a key, because otherwise he would need to come down, ask for a key. Then you would say, no, sir, right now we don't want to give you a key. You gave him a key. I'm not sure how long he had the key, but therefore he gets to drive the narrative and say, I came in and she was hanging by the closet with clothes. She took her own life. How in the hell would you know that if you weren't in that room? There is no way for you to know that, to take that assumption. You would say she's hanging.
Exactly.
What the hell happened to my fiance? And then it would be up to the investigators to conduct a thorough investigation. You don't get to tell them what happened if you don't know, unless you know. Now that leads us to the question, is there a possibility that this man could have taken Ashlee's life? Is this, what you say, do you think it's a setup? A setup to what? What would be the setup? He has her in Africa. He's proposing. And I'm not disagreeing, but you got to give me more. Right? Think about it. He's flying, he's whisking her across the world to celebrate her birthday. It's being documented by her on her Instagram page. She's posting, she's celebrating, she's having the time of her life. What would be the setup? What would be the setup? Yes. So let's do this. We're going to break it down. I think he entered the room. I think he entered the room because he could.
Yeah, pretty much.
Where does foul play come into the picture if we go with the family's notion? Now, the family isn't accusing him of anything. They're saying, you need to come forward. You need to come clean. We don't believe what you're saying. We don't know what happened, but we damn sure don't believe that Ashlee took her own life. No, sir. That doesn't fly here. That's what the family is saying. Ashlee also has a friend that's her PR rep that's saying, no, absolutely not. I'm telling you, I love this girl. I know this girl. She would never take her own life. So now I'm racking my brain. And I'm saying, okay, they had a fight. People can present one way and be a completely different person behind the scenes. I'm going to assume, based on the police report from the Tanzania authorities, that Ashlee was probably more emotional, more vocal. And not because she was in the wrong, but because she's simply probably a woman experiencing some complexities in this relationship, just based on the write-up. He probably was able to gather himself. Yes, sir. No, sir. They separate. He enters the room. How soon after they separate did he enter the room? We don't know.
Right.
You go in the room to do what? Because let's take a look at something. Let's take a look at something. And then we'll start from here. I want to start with the news story. We'll start there. We'll listen to the parents, and then we'll work our way into this story. Let me just say this. It doesn't make sense to me. Doesn't mean that it's not true. It doesn't mean that he did something. But I gotta go with those who knew her most. He didn't know her most. He only knew her for a year. Her mom knew her, her family, her friends. So you gotta go with the ones that have more history. It just doesn't make sense. And when it doesn't make sense, I'm gonna say this. It's probably because it's not true. I want to take a look at a news clip. Here we go.
Action News reporter Cheyenne Corinne is live in the Satellite Center with the latest. Cheyenne.
Hi, Sarah and Brian. Yeah, Ashlee Robinson, she was actually raised locally in South Jersey, and now her death is making headlines across the world. Well, today we spoke to her family in Delaware, who say they aren't getting any answers about what happened to her from officials in Tanzania or her fiance.
My daughter Ashley, she's no longer here with us, and we're trying to find out why.
On April 5th, influencer Ashlee Robinson, who goes by Ashlee Janee on Instagram, was celebrating her 31st birthday in Zanzibar, Tanzania. She was on the vacation with her boyfriend of 1 year, who popped the question just 2 days before.
She was starting the next chapter of her life. She called us and FaceTimed us to share with us her travel.
Ashlee's mother says she never would have expected that less than a week later, her daughter would be dead. On April 8th, she says Ashlee called saying she and her fiance got into an argument and were moved to separate rooms. The next day, she received another call, this time from her fiance.
He told me that Ashley did something to herself and that she was being taken to the hospital. I said, what happened when? And he told me it had been 11 hours prior.
Hours later, the luxury resort the couple was staying at called saying that Ashlee passed away. According to the hospital's medical report, Ashlee had an unidentified mark around her neck. They wrote, according to her husband, he found she hung herself on the door with several
I don't
question
believe that
marks.
for a second.
They didn't believe it. Let's go with the initial reaction. Let's go with the initial reaction of law enforcement who was dispatched to the hotel. They used, as a matter of fact, I'm going to say about 6 or 7 question marks. They didn't believe it. It didn't line up. The story is sketchy. We're going to go with the initial reaction, not the paid reaction, not the paid record, if that, okay? So now they're saying she died by suicide. But before they were brought on board to say that, they questioned his details, his account of what went down. Now, ample, they put 4 hours ago. According to the husband, he found she hanged herself on the door. See, here's my thing. You wouldn't know how the hell she got on the door. Why, as a husband? See, you wouldn't. This tells me Ashlee probably was a very healthy young lady, mind, body, and spirit. Because there's no way a millionaire like yourself, it's being reported that he's allegedly has a $45 million net worth. There's no way that a millionaire like yourself would want to marry or propose to a woman who had mental health issues, considering who your ex-wife is. So when he reaches for the stars. He's had relationships with very successful Black women. So this is a man who is attracted to brains, to beauty, to smarts, to women that...
Man, what's that smell the roses? Oh, you said this girl's mother is married to a white man. Okay. I'm going to play something by Chad Sade in a little bit that's going to touch on what you just said. Bear with me.
lead, women that are high earners, women that can present.
What are you saying no to? You said her mother is married to a white man? What are you saying no to? Oh, and by the way, I made your mod. Congrats. Okay. You said that the young lady's mother is now married to a white man. I'm I'm actually not surprised because you know if you look at some of the young ladies lately and look at some of the young ladies, some of the young ladies and young men that got took up out of here by their significant other who's not the same race as them. This is not something that's that's just learned by them. It's actually being taught. Like I just said earlier, with Cynthia G and AKA the bald headed eagle, and then you had Tony TKO and um, dang it, who did I say? Sheriff Seven. That they have issues with their own race. But here's the thing, just because it's taught, okay. It's what I'm trying to say. Um, because unfortunately, the bald headed eagle is Cynthia G. That's who the bald headed eagle is. Now, focus, Raquel, focus. Now, it's one thing to hate your own race on your own. It's another thing to being taught to hate your own race. And in my opinion, when somebody is teaching a person to hate their own race, that right there should be child abuse. What I said. Let's get back into this.
Women that can present and women that fit in a particular echelon of society in these different circles. So I'm going to assume that Ashlee was a very healthy and well-rounded young lady mentally. We can stop there. Beautiful, beautiful, of course, aesthetically, yes. But let's get into the mental health of it all. I'm going to assume that Ashlee did not present over the course of the year that they dated that she was capable of taking her own life. There's no way. You wouldn't have asked her to marry.
I don't believe that neither.
Right? So then when you look at this report, according to the husband, he found she hanged herself on the door. How would you know she did that if she's always been healthy?
Yeah, how did you know? How did you know it was a door?
If it's true, how would you know she did that? How do you know somebody didn't come in the room and do it? What would automatically make you say, this girl, the love of my life, took her own life? How do you know that for a fact? Let's continue. She said she had a bilateral chest expansion. No any lesions. There is a tattoo on the left
bilateral
side of the
what? Did she say bilateral chest compression? Let me rewind this back a little bit if I can.
Trachea centrally located. See,
wait a minute. So trauma of the trachea and pressure on the chest. That's strangulation. If I'm correct, that's strangulation. But then again, they could say the same thing if she was actually hung, which I don't believe she was actually hung. I believe that she was strangled by this guy, but I can't really say that because there's no proof of it.
CBS post is strong and fat. Oh, she wasn't dead when they found her immediately. Sounds like her pulse. She had a strong, fast pulse. She later died in the hospital.
Okay, if she died at a
Let's
hospital,
continue.
if she died at a hospital, she had a little bit of breath. She was still alive when she went to the hospital. Did he finish the job, or did she die on her own? And that's a question I have now.
Sometime Jill went back to the room with security, and that's how they found her.
As she was also taken.
Okay, he went back to her room with security. Why would you? See, I have a lot of questions. If y'all are just separated and she's supposed to be sleeping, why do you need to go get security to go back to her room? What gave you cause for concern? We're just being open. Those are questions I hope that law enforcement asks. What made you prompt security to go back in her room? What happened? Did she say anything? Did she text anything? Why did you need to take security to her room?
Taken to a second hospital, who listed her cause of death as cerebral hypoxia by strangulation and suffocation.
Strangulation and suffocation.
I'm not surprised.
Now, you were in her room first, sir. We know this for a fact. You were in the room first, and sometime after leaving the room, you went and got security. Let's continue.
She's never done anything that would ever lead me to believe that she would do something to harm herself.
And the family says next they are considering going to Zanzibar themselves to try to get as many answers as possible. Now, we also tried to directly contact Ashlee's fiance, the resort, and the embassy, but we did not hear back. I'm live in the Satellite Center, Cheyenne Crime Channel 6, Action News.
You're not gonna hear none, cause the first thing the resort's gonna do is try their best to cover their behind. I guarantee you, soon as that girl passed away, first thing they did was that the resort did was call their legal team. I guarantee you.
Back to you.
This is, the mom said, there's no way. My child has never, ever done anything in her entire life, and I believe the mother, that would lead me to believe that she is capable of taking her own life. That she is capable of taking her own life. I want to go back to something real quick.
Yeah, heartbreak for the family and unfolding halfway around the world. Thank you, Cheyenne.
Action News reporter Cheyenne Corinne is live in the Satellite Center with the latest.
Now, keep in mind, she died in a Muslim practicing country. What does that mean? Women are respected as long as they behave publicly.
Oh, wait a minute.
Women are respected.
Muslim country. Ooh. Okay, we about to get into some different areas. One thing about Muslim countries in Africa, they highly frown upon women being opinionated. They highly do not like women who are either quote unquote loud, boisterous, or opinionated. Okay, she just gave me something I didn't know. Zanzibar, Tanzania, is highly Muslim. Okay then.
Respected as long as they behave publicly. And we talk about bro code. I'm not saying the man did anything. I don't know that. But let's just talk about the bro code all over the world. The men.
See, here's why I got to disagree with Queen Sheba Darling. The bro code here necessarily does not apply. What applies here is the Muslim culture, and that's what applies here. Cause there's Muslim countries that are more on the side of the Quran, and then there's Muslim countries like Iran, Iran and Iran, Afghanistan, and even Iraq that are more on a Sharia law side, which anything that a woman does is dictated by the man. Which the Quran is the same way, but the Sharia law is more strict than the Quran. If that makes any sense. Let's get back into this.
All over the world. The men are the hierarchy in Muslim countries. So if there's anything
Right.
that indicates foul play, and you have a millionaire that can hand over money to make this go away until I can get on the first thing smoking, then
Yeah,
hey, never
it's
know.
gonna go away.
It is Muslim. I looked it up. It's okay. They're saying that it's Muslim. It's a Muslim culture. Well, you know what? Maybe I'm wrong. That they practice Muslim over there. Can anybody? I try to do my
now
research.
I know for
But
a
you said
fact
they're not practicing Muslims over
Congo
there?
and Uganda are heavily Muslim. I know that for a fact.
You do know many Africans are Muslim, right? So no, you don't have any Muslims over there, Janet? You said you're in Tanzania. Okay. Well, it describes it as a Muslim culture. I could be wrong now, but I'm glad we had you. Thank you, Janet. Yeah, Islam. Okay. Thank you. See, thank you for keeping me honest. All right. Thank you. Appreciate it. Let's do this. I want to break something down real quick. I'm going to let it play, but I need to go back to this police report.
Cheyenne.
Hi, Sarah and Brian. Yeah, Ashlee Robinson, she was actually raised locally in South Jersey, and now her death is making headlines across the world. Well, today we spoke to her family in Delaware, who say they aren't getting any answers about what happened to her from officials in Tanzania or her fiance.
So here's the thing. I found it odd that they listed him as her husband, and he's not her husband. Oh, let me show it to you.
My daughter Ashley, she's no longer here with us, and we are trying to find out why.
On April 5th, influencer Ashlee Robinson, who goes by Ashlee Janee on Instagram, was celebrating her 31st birthday in Zanzibar, Tanzania. She was on the vacation with her boyfriend of 1 year, who popped the question just 2.
I could be reaching. Ashley didn't look very excited in this photo, and it could just, in this video clip of him proposing, and it, like I said, it just could be wrong. It's 63% Christian. Okay, well, they got another 40-something%, 30-something%, right?
Okay, I stand corrected what I said earlier.
Thank you. Islam is the second. So y'all are saying they don't practice, but I said Muslim, but I meant Islam. But they still have that dynamic there.
Okay.
Now watch this. In this video, this is something I noticed, very small. Nothing to write home about. But she didn't jump for joy, none of that, when he proposed in this video. Did anybody else catch that? He kneeled, she kind of slightly took a bow. That's it. There was no huge reaction. And that stood out to me.
2 days before,
She was starting the next chapter of her life. She called us and FaceTimed us to share with us her travel.
Ashlee's mother says she never would have expected that less than a week.
Now, the mom said she called us and she FaceTimed to share her travel. The mom didn't say engagement. Did anybody else catch that? She called us and FaceTimed to share her travels. She didn't say anything about an engagement. She didn't say anything regarding, my daughter was so excited. She told us that Joe had just proposed to her. It's her. She said travel. Ashley called 2 times, according to the mom. We just heard her about the travel, and then she called about the fight. The mom never said anything about a freaking engagement. Let's continue.
week later, her daughter would be dead. On April 8th, she says Ashlee called, saying she and her fiance got into an argument and were moved to separate rooms.
That's the second time she called. April 5th, about the travels. April 8th, hey, Mom, we're fighting. 2 calls. Mom, what did she say the fight was about? That's going to be very important. We don't know, but it is what it is, says, so the mom knows what the fight is about. We don't know. We don't know. It just depends. I'm sure there's a time, what do y'all call it? There's a difference of time zones. The mom could have been, it could have been early in the morning, could have been late at night for the mom. It depends on the type of questions the mom asked or did not ask when her daughter called saying we got into a fight. Now, for a 31-year-old woman to call her mom, I'm going to assume it was pretty serious. And not only that, they had a very good relationship because she called someone she could trust. Now, the mom gave no additional details in this interview with the news regarding the state of mind that Ashlee was in when she received that call, that, hey, we're being separated. But I'm sure that if Ashlee called her mom, it's probably because this is the first time something like this has happened. She needed a safe place. She needed a sounding board. She's in a foreign country. I got to call my mom. I got to call my mom.
The next day, she received another call, this time from her fiance.
He told me that Ashlee did something to herself and that she was being taken to the hospital. I said, what happened when? And he told me it had been 11 hours prior.
Hours later, the luxury resort the couple was staying at called saying that Ashlee passed away. According to the hospital's medical report, Ashlee had an unidentified mark around her neck.
Unidentified mark around her neck. Unidentified. I need to, okay.
Tell us strangulation marks.
They wrote, according to her husband, he found she hung herself on the door.
He found. So he was in that room. We've established that he was in that room first. We don't know how long. And then he went to get security. How long were you in the room? And I noticed that they listed him as her husband. He's not her husband. He's a boyfriend, fiance. So once you've established legally that she's not married to him, my question to Tanzania or Zanzibar authorities, how come you're not giving the family information? She's not connected to him legally. There's no contractual binding agreement. Now you know. The family's calling you, asking for details, but you refuse to give them any details on their daughter, on their loved one. Did you accept money from this man, Zanzibar? Did anybody within the organization accept money from this man? Aquarius said it's because he's white. Africans look at white men like a god. So, because why would you refuse to give the mother any details? He has no legal right to her.
Zero.
Now that she's deceased.
Zero.
With several question marks.
Sometime Jill went back to the Roman security, and that's how they found her.
Ashlee was also taken to a second hospital who listed her cause of death as cerebral hypoxia by strangulation and suffocation.
She's never done anything that would ever lead me to believe that she would do something to harm herself.
And the family says next they are considering going to Zanzibar themselves to try to get as many answers as possible. Now, we also try.
You have to. You got to go over there and show your black face.
Take your ass
You gotta
over
go
there.
over there and
Damn
let
right.
people see
Get over
and
there.
feel you as a mother. You got to do whatever you got to do to get to the bottom of what happened to your daughter. You don't just get on the phone and take somebody's word for it. I don't give a damn if you have to create a GoFundMe. You need to be on the first thing smoking. You cannot afford to take anybody's word for anything that they've said has happened to your daughter. You can get more done in person than you can over a Zoom meeting. And I'm not trying to be funny. People got to feel you. They got to see you. They have to connect with you in order to get down to the truth.
All that.
Now, here's a part of the police report. Police in the North region of Zanzibar have reported that social media personality Ashlee Robinson, popularly known as Ashlee Janee, a U.S. citizen, died in the hospital after being rushed there. You guys, she was still alive in that room. In the report, they said her pulse was strong. She was found in her hotel room by a hotel staff member in a hanging position. Now, remember, he went and got them. In an interview, North Unguja Regional Police Commander Benedict Mapujila said that Ashlee was found hanging in her room on April 8, 2026. She was rescued while in critical condition and taken to a hospital where she passed away on April 9, 2026 while receiving treatment. Damn. So you mean to tell me they walked in the nick of time, or he walked in right as she hung herself, ran down to get hotel staff? Listen, it's a lie. I'm calling bullshit right now. Listen to me. It just hit me. This is a lie, a lie, a lie, a lie. He walked in the room first, the love of his life. He sees her hanging. He don't stop her. He runs down to get hotel security, and they all come back. That's a lie. It just hit me. It's a lie. I don't believe it. If my husband were to see me, he would do everything. He would tear down the walls of Jericho to get me down from there. There's no way he would leave me up there.
Nope.
Whether it's by my own doing, and run and get another man to take me down. It is a lie from the pits of hell. I'm glad I read it. I don't believe it. It doesn't sound right. The heart of a man is to protect, especially if he did not inflict the harm. He would do anything to tear her down from that fucking closet door. Are you following me? It just hit me in real time. This is a lie. You are lying. No, it is not a normal reaction. Do you see how mothers reach for children when they fall? It's like cold blue. I'm talking about a natural reaction, not a strategic, not a manipulative. If a man who just proposed to a woman 2 days ago walk into a room and see her dangling from a door, he's going to fucking tear down the walls of Jericho. It's instinctive. We're talking instinct. Ask any man. Ask. Hell, a woman would. A friend would. No, he's not going to. I'm talking instinct. Not a plot. Instinct. Screaming. Hollering. Lose. Thank you. Know the heart of a mic check. Am I good? No, understand the heart of a man. Ask any man. Let's continue. So in an interview, North Unguja Regional Police Commander Benedict Mapujila said Ashlee was found hanging in her room on April 8th. She was rescued while in critical condition and taken to the hospital where she passed away. This man stood back and let them fight to take her down. Didn't help. He let them do it. That signifies detachment to me of some sort.
Extreme
I'm
detachment.
not even saying he did anything. That signifies
There's extreme detachment.
to me from a psychological standpoint. I'm going in and out. Okay, sound is good. Okay, sounds good. Now let's go to the second part of the police report. Here we go. Commander Mapujila stated that Ashlee's body is still at the hospital and investigators are ongoing to determine the cause of her death. They didn't know. They didn't initially take his word, which is why we saw the 6 to 7 question marks. Initial reports indicate that a hotel worker discovered her while while cleaning, raised an alarm, and she was then taken to the hospital. Well, that's not what it says in the news report. So now we have conflicting reports. We're
Wait a
saying
minute.
that he
What?
found her. At first, they're saying
Wait a
that a
minute.
hotel worker found her.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. You got the hotel saying they found her, but what, like she just said earlier, you have people saying that he found her. So, which one's lying to us? Is he lying or is the hotel lying? Let's continue.
Initial reports indicate that a hotel worker discovered her while cleaning, raised an alarm, and she was taken to the hospital. It's about 2 days now. In Nangiwi, she was found hanging by a hotel staff member who raised the alarm, and she was rushed to the hospital. The body is still in Zanzibar. And if not yesterday, then
Be
today
back in
it
a
will have
second.
undergone examination, said the North Police Commander. Let's get to the third report. So now we have conflicting reports. And that can happen, right? Being that you have the U.S. media outlets that are covering this, and then you have information that's coming from Zanzibar. So the commander also said that Ashlee's fiance, Joe McCann, who was traveling with her, has not been arrested because he was not in the room at the time she was found. However, investigations are still going. According to social media reports, Ashlee had recently gotten engaged to Joe McCann during one of their tourist trips in Tanzania. But this news report, let's go back, said that Joe he went to get hotel staff. Somebody's lying.
Action News reporter Cheyenne Corinne is live in the Satellite Center with the latest. Cheyenne.
Hi, Sarah and Brian. Yeah, Ashlee Robinson, she was actually raised locally in South Jersey, and now her death is making headlines across the world. Well, today we spoke to her family in Delaware, who say they aren't getting any answers about what happened to her from officials in Tanzania or her fiance.
My daughter Ashlee, she's no longer here with us.
Yeah, something's off. When people are getting paid, the story changes.
First birthday in Zanzibar, Tanzania.
This is him proposing. Not a big reaction, in my opinion.
She was on the vacation with her boyfriend of 1 year, who popped the question just 2 days before.
Did you see her body leaned out? I hone in on the psychological and the behavioral traits of the Black experience. Could there have been tension prior to the trip, at the onset of the trip, on the aircraft? She's given him kiss, but it's more performative, or niceties is what I'm trying to say, niceties. A part of the body was leaned back. The lower part of the body, initially she went in for the kiss, but she wasn't all the way committed if we look at the body language in this particular shot.
Starting the next
And neither was he.
chapter of her life, she called us and FaceTimed us to share with us her travel.
Ashlee's mother says she never would have expected that less than a week later, her daughter would be dead. On April 8th, she says Ashlee called, saying she and her fiance got into an argument and were moved to separate rooms. The next day, she received another call, this time from her fiance.
He told me that Ashlee did something to herself and that she was being taken to the hospital. I said, what happened when? And he told me it had been 11 hours prior.
Hours later, the luxury resort the couple was staying at called saying that Ashlee passed away. According to the hospital's medical report, Ashlee had an unidentified mark around her neck. They wrote, according to her husband, he found she hung herself on the door.
Somebody's lying. The medical report says, according to the husband, he found her. He found her hanging from the door. Somebody's not being honest. But according to the police report, here we go. The commander said that Ashlee's fiance, who was traveling with her, has not been arrested because he was not in the room at the time she was found. Yes, he was, according to the medical report. The medical report said he's the one that found her. So why is your investigative report different from the medical examiner? Y'all get it? Somebody's lying. No. See, it's bigger than him. But it is what it is. Say him lying. No, they're lying. They're lying. So now you have, take him out the equation. Let me show you something. You have two different organizations, two entities in Zanzibar. The police are saying he wasn't there in the room. The medical report said, oh, hell, yes, the hell he was. He was the one that found her. Question mark, question mark, question mark. He said that she was hanging from a door. The African authorities are not being honest. Their reports don't include the same details. Somebody's lying. The commander-in-chief of the police department says Ashlee was found. No, they didn't say she was found. Listen to this. Initial reports indicate that a hotel worker discovered her while cleaning, raised an alarm, and she was then taken to the hospital. Y'all got to get your story straight. It's not lining up. I knew I was going to break this down and get to the bottom of it. We just had to comb through it. Somebody's lying. And even if you freaking take him out the equation, one of the African entities is lying. You're not being forthcoming. You're not both saying the same thing. This happened in the Shanquilla Robinson case.
Sure hell did.
Y'all remember in Mexico where the medical examiner said, no, she had this, she had these kind of bruises. This is what happened to her. This girl had severe spinal injuries, but the Mexican authorities called and told Shanquilla Robinson's mom she died by alcohol poisoning. So we know that people can be paid off. We know that people can lie. Money talks and BS walks. We know that. Could it be possible? I'm not saying he did do anything. Could it be that he got spooked and said, oh my God, Ashlee did hurt herself, but nobody's going to believe me. Nobody's going to believe me. No matter what I say, how I say it, because of the fight last night, everybody's going to assume that I did something to her. Could it be that angle? What are your thoughts? Now, we're going to look at a timeline breakdown. Thank you, Somali. Shout out to you for sending me over these details and these facts. They are very, very helpful. The Ashlee Janee case summary timeline. April 8th, 2026, she was found in a hotel room in critical condition. She was still alive and taken to the hospital. She was fighting for her life. And the medical report said that she arrived with a strong pulse. April 9th, she passed away while receiving treatment. Currently, the investigation is ongoing and the body has not been released to the family. Now, here's the thing. Unless the family has the money to ship the body from Africa to the United States, they're going to hold that body. Here's some key points. She was found alive, not dead, which means medical intervention occurred. Another key point, a hotel worker discovered her and raised the alarm. But we have conflicting reports because the medical examiner said that the husband said he found her. Her fiance, Joe McCain, was not in the room and has not been arrested. The couple was recently engaged. The incident occurred in Nunbiwi, a busy tourist area. Official cause of death has not yet been confirmed at the time that this timeline was established. So now we know it's suffocation and, what was it? Suffocation and strangulation. That's what the medical examiner said. Unanswered questions, exact timeline before she was found. Medical details of her condition and cause of death, we got that now. Scene details and possible evidence. They're saying a piece of clothing. How tall was Ashlee? She would have to be pretty strong to get up there and make a noose that could support her body weight under pressure. Most women can't tie that strong of a knot. I'm not saying that it's not possible, but most women, if she's been drinking the night before, How strong are the? I need to see the room. I need to see verification of fiance's whereabouts. They're saying they weren't able to verify his whereabouts during that time after they
Another
separated the couple.
problem.
And if you're saying that he found her, how did he get in the room? It still goes back to my first question. Who gave him a key card? Digital and surveillance evidence. We still haven't seen that. Conclusion, this is an ongoing investigation with no confirmed final cause of death yet. We have it yet. We have it now. Several important details remain unclear. This is very unclear. Prayers to the family. Now, here's the thing. I want to read this. According to the police, Ashlee had traveled there, we know that, with her fiance. Family members confirmed the couple was on vacation when the tragic situation unfolded. Police said that the two were experiencing relationship issues during the trip. Y'all, this don't sound right to me. Why would you propose to a woman that you were fighting with to the point that you had to be separated? I have a lot of questions. Is this the first fight they've ever had? Was this a tumultuous relationship? Was the back and forth ongoing? Was this like over before it started? And was the proposal a means to an end? So they were experiencing relationship issues, not an issue, singular. They said issues, to the point that the hotel staff had to step in and separate them. That's a lot of hollering. Was there a physical altercation? That's very intense. It's just not adding up. They go on to say there was a disagreement, and the hotel management made the executive decision to separate them, placing them in their own room. Commander, that's what the commander said. He added that the hotel staff later contacted authorities. He added that the hotel staff later contacted authorities after becoming concerned about Ashlee's well-being, indicating there may have been warning signs prior to the incident. See, the only time that you're going to call the police is if you're concerned that he's going to do something to her. They called the police, the hotel staff, because they were scared for her. They were concerned for her as a woman. What behavior did he display that caused them, when they separated them, to say, let's call the police? Because something ain't right with this white man and the amount of behavior that he's exhibiting towards this black girl. We're concerned for her well-being. We're not concerned for her taking her life, but we're concerned for her well-being. I need to call the police. See, you call the police when you think somebody's in danger, or there's a risk of danger or harm. Officials say Robinson was still alive when police were alerted. She was transported to a hospital for emergency care, but sadly passed away the following day, Friday, April 10th. Hold on. They called the police after separating them because they were concerned. When the police were dispatched to the hotel, it proved their concern to be valid, because she was indeed in danger, period. Whether it's by her own doing, allegedly, because that's what he's saying, or by the doing of his hands. What are your thoughts? What do y'all think? It seems like they do have intentions of returning her body to the United States, but they want to do more medical examinations. And they're saying this is just standard procedure for us before arrangements are made to return her to the United States. This is a very, very, very sad situation. And it's not making sense at all. Now, I want to share something that was posted by a good friend of Ashlee. Her name is Savannah Britt. She says, we need justice for my friend Ashlee Janee, who was found dead in her hotel in Tanzania, and her fiance Joe McCain claims she hung herself. You see how they're coming out with the original report, which is, did no hotel staff find her? He said she hung herself. She said, anyone who knows Ash knows she would never commit suicide. We need answers now. That's brutal. That's a very, very brutal way to die. Looking in the eyes, if it is true.
Very brutal way to die.
Somebody you think that love you, somebody you feel like that can trust you, somebody who's asking you to spend the rest of your life with them. The hotel staff has concerns. I need to know more. Listen, Savannah, Mom, now is not the time to go quiet. If you want answers, if you want people to rally around, listen, the internet can shake things up. The internet, bloggers, content creators, people sharing videos can get answers. But if you know anything, you got to say what that fight was about. You got to say why you were asking for justice. We know she's gone, but if he's hit her before, I don't know. Whatever it is, you got to start talking. Because otherwise you're protecting him if what you say is true. If there's a history, I don't give a damn how much he's worth. If there's a history of any type of violence, assault, you better start talking. That's the only way you're going to get justice. It starts with you guys. We can only go by what you're saying, but if you're holding secrets and you're not saying anything, and I ain't even lying, this ain't even for us to be messy, but we got to help you get the word out. We got to shake some shit up if what you're saying is true. But you got to put it all out there. And now is not the time to be coy. Let's take a look at some of the documentation of Ashlee and Joe's relationship.
Hey guys, so we have a developing case out of Africa. This is crazy. I'm going to share everything that we know right now. So this right here is Ashlee Janee. She's a Miami lifestyle influencer who was in Tanzania, Africa, celebrating her 31st birthday and her recent engagement. She was reportedly found dead at the Serval Wildlife Resort in early April of 2026. Her fiance, Joe McCann, the founder of Asymmetrical Finance, said that Tanzanian authorities ruled her death a suicide by hanging. However, her family and friends have strongly pushed back against that explanation and are demanding more answers. On April 3rd, 2026, Ashlee posted a video of Joe proposing to her on one knee during a safari that they were on. Her family said that she did not appear to be in a dark space and that she was only looking forward to the future. Her last post on Instagram was made on April 5th, 2026, and it shows her feeding a giraffe while the phrase "Happy Birthday, Ashlee" is spelled out in rose petals at her feet. She captioned the post, quote, "Chapter 31, and I'm exactly where I need to be."
Now the rose petals indicate to me that if let's just say if what the people on the internet are saying, hey, we think you know more than what you're giving, there's more to this, she didn't take her life. I'm gonna say it wasn't premeditated because the roses, just everything that he organized for her birthday, it doesn't appear, now I'm no expert, I'm no detective, but it doesn't appear that he took her to Africa to take her life. I'm going to say if there's any chance that he did commit a crime or if there is foul play, it was in the heat of the moment. Something went bad real quick, real fast.
Again, seemingly happy, at peace, and looking forward to the future. There were no signs of distress. Now, Ashlee is said to be known for sharing, quote, soft life content on Instagram. She highlights trips that she goes on, luxury and personal milestones. And just looking at her Instagram page, she lives a life that a lot of people aspire to live. And this is just getting a lot of people confused as to why.
I'm going to say this. I want to make some it's not my commentary. I'm going to say she presents a life. Or presented a life that most people would aspire to live, because we don't know who the man is. We don't really know the real Joe McCann because he's refusing to talk. He's not giving the family any other details to me.
Right. He ain't saying nothing.
He seemed to be playing defense. That could be for a number of reasons. He could have already reached out to an attorney who could have said, listen, no matter how you look at this thing, how you slice and dice it, you are going to be the prime suspect. Shut your mouth. Don't you say a word. I know you want to help, but my boy, you are a white man in Africa. Be quiet. That could be one take, or There could be an indication, there could be holes and gaps in the fact that they questioned his initial reports based on the big ass fight that they had, and they were already concerned for her well-being. Somebody didn't believe you. Somebody think you had something to do with it.
Why she would do something like this to herself. Now, there are a lot of rumors circulating online about this case. Some people are claiming that this was initially a sugar daddy relationship before it turned into a romantic relationship.
That could be possible. That could be possible. Now, let me say this. It's going to get real uncomfortable, but we're going to have to talk about. When we start talking about sugar babies and sugar daddies,
Talk about it.
it's in exchange for a particular sexual satisfaction, but it's more glammed up. It's more glammed up than the norm. Ashlee's 31. I'm not really sure how old Joe is. We can find out real quick. Let's see. That could be. Let me see. Because a year is not a long time. He's 67. No, I'm sorry. I take that back. Hold on. They don't have a name. They've kept his details. Really under wraps. Can somebody give me his age? I'm looking, but I can't find it. We don't know a lot about him. He's able to scrub the internet of a lot of things about him.
Yeah, I'm seeing that too.
We know he's an asymmetric crypto founder. We know he dips and dabs in crypto. But his birth year, birthday, it's hard to find that information on him.
I was actually looking at her IG, and it seems like the two of them started dating in November of 2024. In November of 2025, she posted a 1-year anniversary thing, so they've been dating for about 2 years almost. There's also people online that claim they know Ashlee, and they're saying that she was actually found in a tree, not inside her hotel room like initial reports were sharing. And on top of those claims, there are multiple reports claiming that Joe waited 2 full days before notifying authorities or contacting Ashlee's family about her passing. Essentially, people are under the belief that Joe did something to Ashlee and staged everything to make it look like she had done something to herself. Again, though, this is all just talk online, and none of this has been confirmed. Essentially, the only thing that law enforcement has confirmed is that she's been found deceased. Could she?
All right. There's another possibility. Here's another possibility.
Okay.
Use your imagination. There's another possibility that just hit me. Because nothing is making sense. None of this is making sense. And when I think about it, earlier when I started off the live, I used the word and I said fetish. And y'all said fetish or preference. And I said, you know what? Thank you for correcting. That's a better word. But when I listen to this influencer, this creator talk, and he's talking about the beginning stages of the relationship. The relationship did allegedly evolve over time, but it may have started off as a hookup. Now I said, Joe, we know you got an appetite or a preference for young black women, younger, smart, attractive, beautiful, chocolate black women. And they're saying he was a sugar daddy. Ashlee was a sugar baby initially. And it just evolved. And that's just what it is, right? No matter if you're black, dating a younger black girl, white guy, dating a younger white young lady, you're going to have to give these girls a really nice lifestyle. In exchange for that, these men, they have needs sexually. I wonder if there was a fight and there was concern in the hotel. I wonder now, and I got to use my grown-up mind, I wonder if they were separated. I wonder if he was intense, if not verbally, just a presence. His presence, he seems like he towered over her. But African people in these countries are fairly slim, so they can measure up and kind of assess, Wait, that's a big guy. And even though he may not be yelling, he seems pretty intense. He seems like if he wants to harm her, he can. Hence the reason they called authorities. But I wonder if he went to her room and expected to be intimate. Strangulation, suffocate. What did it say? Strangulation. It said strangulation. And what was the other word? Suffocation. I wonder if there was any signs. I want to know how she was found. Was she naked? Was she clothed? Y'all get what I'm saying? I have a lot of questions. I also want to know if he was on some other type of time, if he was into some other shit and shit went too far that day. Use your imagination. There are couples. There's some people that like to make up to break. What is it? Break up to make up. Could it be that he was under that thought as a man? You know what? Shit is heated. I'm going to go in there, give her a kiss and a hug, and maybe we can make up a little bit. Mary said he lost it. Somebody, y'all get where I'm going? Because I'm like, why would you go in her room and just automatically? Why would, what's going on? So now when this kid says, oh, it could have gone too far. And we know race play is a thing. Oh, it's a real thing. Let me tell you why.
Weird
Those
but
details
true.
were disclosed in Shannon Sharp's case with the young lady that sued him and won $24 million. They would race play all the time. She would race play and say what she wanted him to do as a big black man. That's, it just struck me. I wonder. Let's continue.
There we go.
Could she have done this to herself? Yeah, mental health does tend to creep up on people, and sometimes you wouldn't even expect someone to be facing something, and they are. But nonetheless, this is all very suspicious, and it warrants a deeper, further investigation, which authorities...
I mean, anything's possible, right? But only her mom knows that, and close friends. Did she have any mental health issues? Has she ever threatened to harm herself before? Has she ever gotten into a place before? And her mom said no. She said, my daughter has never given me any indication that she would be capable of harming herself or taking her own life. So I'm going to have to run with the mama. I'm going to have to go with the mama. But I wonder if Mr. White Man, Mr. Joe McCain, you went in there wanting to make up and she wasn't feeling it, or maybe it started off and then you went too far. Hence the reason y'all say, well, why was there no commotion? Hence the reason. We've seen people accidentally take it too far in love. You've seen stories of people engaging, and this is something that they do on the norm. And I'm not saying Ashlee did or not. I'm just getting into a different realm. And you hear reports that they took it too far.
Right.
Denise, we're exploring. You said this commentary is all, it's all over the place, over the freaking whole internet. Let me ground you real quick, because nobody knows. Hell, it's all over the place. We just showed you the police is saying one thing, the medical examiners are saying another.
Yep.
The family say, it's all over the place, and nobody really knows except him, because Ashlee's not here to tell her story. I'm just giving you my theory. That's it. That's all. Yeah, we can only speculate because he's not giving up anything. Hell, the police don't even know.
Authorities say they are conducting. I'm going to be following this case very closely, so make sure you're following me, checking the comments, the description, and my page to stay up to date on the latest. I'm sure a lot more information is going to come out and more clarity is going to be made soon. What are you guys making of all of this? Let me know. Hey guys.
Now, I'm going to say this. I don't think we're ever going to know. I think he's going to carry it to his grave. I don't think we'll ever be satisfied, no matter what the truth is, because I think the internet have made up their mind, right, wrong, and or indifferent. I think based on her family, friends, and loved ones, they're saying, nope. There are some inconsistencies. We've established that fact just from comparing the different reports from the commander, the police commander, and the medical examiner. Now, Joe doesn't stay around too long. Joe was once married to a black woman. To a black woman. Hold on, let's get into it.
Okay.
Right here.
Give me some names.
Before.
I want some names.
1 second.
What's the name of the woman?
I'm not going to say her name.
Ah.
Because she has a very lucrative career. And I wouldn't want to mess that up for her by bringing her scrutiny and attention, because she has 2 small kids. And, well, you know what? Let me cover it up. Hold on. Very lucrative career. He was married to her in 2018, and he left her in 2021. Now, I went down a rabbit hole, Joe. And if what I found is to be true, you left her while she was pregnant. Hold on. What? You left her while she was pregnant because she made a post. Y'all said protect black women. That's what I'm doing. I will not reveal where she works or her name. In 2022, they were divorced. He left her in 2021. But in 2022, she says, I'm on a caregiving hiatus. I had a baby on Christmas 2022, and my mom got diagnosed with stage 4 kidney cancer in June. So if you left your wife in 2021 and she had the baby in 2022, you left her pregnant. You do have the ability to detach as a man, as a husband, from these black women in vulnerable situations. Her mom was dying of stage 4 kidney cancer. She was pregnant and you left her. She was pregnant with her second child. I'm going to assume this was her second child. And she says, it's hard to find the same meaning here, but I'm hopeful I will again. Do you get that? Watch this. Your first wife, after being married to you, you leave her in 2021. She's pregnant. She gives birth in 2022. You leave her to deal with a newborn. You leave her to deal with the dying mother. And she posts, it's hard to find the same meaning here. I'm going to assume here on earth. But I'm hopeful I will again. Now, I'm not saying that she was suicidal, but it sounds like you have a history of finding these healthy black women and leaving them in shambles. Capable, smart, strong, dedicated. And if you understand this lady's background, she was solid when you found her. You married her only to leave her. And she's struggling to find the meaning here. What do I do now? My mom's dying. My husband just left. I'm with a second child. My world is falling apart. There are some people that feed off of healthy people. There are some people that are just, they do what they want because they can.
Right.
She said, right now I'm spending my time
Hey, Missy.
where it
How you
matters
doing?
most, where I know I'll never regret it. I'm proud of all I've accomplished in the professional realm, but I'm gone to a deeper place. But I have to go. But I've gone to a deeper place within myself, and none of the external validation drives me anymore. She hit rock bottom.
So, in other words, he got with his ex-wife and basically dogged her the hell out. But you know something? Ain't that what the divestors' main complaint when it comes to black men, that black men dogged them out. But here's the thing, this was a white guy doing the dogging out. So, like I said earlier, just because you go to a different race does not mean that anything is greener. More of the story is BS is everywhere. It is what it is. Oh, who's this speaking, Missy? This here is Queen Sheba Darling. Wait a minute, let me make sure I got that name right. Yeah, Queen Sheba Darling is the one who's speaking.
But none of the external validation drives me anymore. She hit rock bottom. I just want to make meaningful work with people I care about that challenge me and make me better. To everyone I've worked with in the past, I hope you still think of me fondly. And when I pick up the phone again in time, I trust that you'll vouch for my character.
And something else I want to point out too, Missy, cause I know you're probably not gonna have time to look at this one, cause I'm this one here, the way I'm doing it, it's gonna take a while. Um, if you look at Queen Sheba, think 15 to 20 minutes in, you'll sit there hear the parents say that he, the fiance, quote unquote, found her. But if you look at the police report, the police report says it was a member of the hotel staff who found her. So either the hotel is lying or the white guy's lying. Somebody's lying. So I just want to put that out there while you're here. Let's get back into it.
I trust that you'll vouch for my character, for the way I continue to show up when shit goes sideways or when it goes to plan. The stakes have never been higher, but I've never.
And I'm also gonna tell you the Queen Sheba's dive into it. It's 3 hours long and 14 minutes. I see. I myself I'm not gonna do this whole thing, but I want to do enough of it where it gives you the meat and potatoes. Cause I got some other cases of divesting going wrong that I also want to talk about. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the OnlyFans chick and the case out of Minnesota, where it was a young black lady about 20 years old that got dismembered after a date with a white guy. And I want to talk about that while I'm still thinking about it. So, like I said, this one's going to be a long one.
Have never been higher, but I've never been more at peace. I'll be back when it's right. Growth and grief can be deeply painful. Clarifying, I'm wading through it all right now. If you can send a prayer up for my mama in the meantime, I'd be eternally grateful. Sir, what are you doing to these women? Hell, because if I didn't know any better, and thank God she's alive and well, that sounds like a suicide note.
I don't know if I would go that far with it, but it does sound like this woman is quite troubled. Cause there's the fact that the hotel and this guy trying to cover their behind, something ain't right here. Cause like I also said earlier, I was trying to see if this guy had any pictures with his family members or anything of the sort, and I couldn't find anything. Smell the Roses was in here earlier. She couldn't find anything, and Queen Sheba at the beginning of a live stream said said that she couldn't find anything on this guy. So basically, either this guy scrubbed the internet, or he has very little internet presence. I'm not sure which one it is, but hopefully we'll figure it out. And also, Queen Sheba Darling here also mentioned Shanquella as
Well,
well.
that sounds like a suicide note. And I'm not saying I'm just saying, what are you doing to these women? It sounds like this special case said Baby Joe is out here for a good time, not a long time. He just like manipulating a strong black woman. It's a thrill for him. Very evil. Break him down. That.
And here's another thing. I want to say this very loudly and very clearly. Just because to black women, just because a white guy is into you, does not mean that he wants you. He may want a part of you, but that does not mean that the guy in question wants you just for you. If you're reading in between the lines, let's get back into it.
Come down. That woman posted that in a place you wouldn't expect to find that. Let me just say that.
Be back in a
And
second, y'all. Hold on.
You know you hit rock bottom. When you post that in a place, we typically wouldn't post that. Now, the reason why I'm not going to say her name is because she just landed a global job this month. It's not fair to her that she would have to get this type of attention because she does have 2 children for him. She's out there doing her thing on a large scale. Her life is coming back together in the midst of this craziness that's happening to her children's father, her ex-husband, right? She lives in Oregon. So it sounds like he likes to recruit right there in Oregon. Now, let me show you. Let me see if I can remove her name. I don't know, Joe. People say you're sinister. I mean, I don't know if that's him being sexually playful with some of these looks in the photos, and it can be, right? I don't want to reach. Give me 1 second. But in this photo, she's looking down, doting, loving. He's giving whatever it is he's trying to give. Some people have said, it's funny that in some of these photos, he's always has this look when it came to Ashlee. And it could be neither here nor there. I just wanted to call it to your attention. But also, I want to show you something that he posted. Let me see if I can get that to the screen. Give me 1 second. I feel like my screen, it froze on me. Here we go. No. Give me 1 second. Hold on. So I want to go back to, I'm waiting on my computer. It's funny that he's a big time crypto CEO, but you can't find a lot on him. Now, he does reaches for the best of the best. He ain't deep. No kizzy. And it seems like, I'm sorry, Joe, that you like to date black women as accessories, purses, on your arm, that you carry them around. And I don't know what that means in your circle, your social circle, and you marry them as on. Hold on, give me 1 second.
It's a fetish for him. I told you that's what it
Stayed
was.
married, not barely 3 years, 2018. So it seems like his relationships crumble pretty fast, and they have a lifespan of 2 to 3 years, if that. It seems like you impregnate pretty fast, and and in the words of B.B. King, they say when the thrill is gone, so is Joe. And it could be a fetish, y'all. Shannon Sharp had one. When we were able to see the text messages that was exchanged between Shannon Sharp and his quote-unquote preferences.
Come on now. Why we gotta bring Shay into this? Come on now.
There was a fetish underneath there. The types of things that he liked to do. The types of things that he wanted to hear. And my computer is frozen. So give me a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Let me see. And if so, I will try to keep going without, okay, here we go. It's frozen up on me. So if you can hear me, give me a 1 in the chat. All right, looks like we're back. Thank goodness. That's all I got. I don't know. It's hard for me to believe she took her own life. And if she did, that means she was under some heavy, heavy stress and duress. That if she did, that means typically in situations like that, I want you to know you hurt me bad. I want you to know you broke my heart. I want you to know that this is your fault. The way she was found. If what he's saying is true, if what he's reporting is accurate and there is absolutely no foul play, she wants you to know that you drove her to do that, if that is true. What are your thoughts?
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see it. I'm gonna have to go with the mom.
Can I find it? Can I find it?
Whatever you did to her, after proposing to her, that's some sick shit. Because you should have been man enough to not pick a fight, to not engage in the fight.
There we go.
It's supposed to be the time of her life. Now, I don't know Joe's mental health background because we're talking about Ashlee's. I think it's only fair to talk about his. Now, they say narcissists love to ruin special occasions and holidays. I'll propose to you. I'll whisk you away, take you on a trip for you.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it here with Queen Sheba. Shout out to her. I want to go to AB to the seventh power. This here was a case, a divestment case in my opinion, except this is a white woman and a black man. Let's get into it. Shout out to AB to the seventh power.
Rewind selector. Rewind selector.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to your Thursday Power Hour. We're talking about Courtney Clenny today. This is a case that is fastly approaching. I mean, it was supposed to start December 1st. We may have some movement of some dates, and you're out. Right. This your first time here? Hi, my name is AV. I am a legal analyst. Do this full time on YouTube. All things law, true crime, and debauchery. This is what we do.
You don't want to tune in, hit the like button, hang out, relax. Today we're talking about Courtney Glenny. What does that mean? There are a bunch of other things going on.
Okay, let me speed this up.
Hole in the middle of this document. How is this supposed to come in as evidence? Helena, like what are we supposed to do with this? How does this come in? Like, oh my God. But let's keep going. I mean, I can't even read. I'm not going to keep reading the whole thing because the letter has a big hole in it. What do they say here? These felonious recordings are a clear violation of law, and the legislature has made it abundantly clear that they are per se inadmissible as evidence in any type of proceeding. Where's the okay, so you have a picture of what he acknowledged there, but they're not complete sentences because there is a big hole in it. Like, where's the rest? I don't understand. Let's keep going down below.
Because I'm going to do an OF Live later. Anyway, what I was saying was my nails, bruh. What the fuck? Okay. Let me tell you a little story. So, my one of my middle fingers, this one got like fully
Kisses herself oddly.
Trying to get to paperwork.
I want to bring it to when the detectives went in the room because they did kind of handle her with some kid gloves. Let's take a peek here. She's on her second tissue at this point. More prayers. I think the only reason why somebody like this would pray is because she knew she fucked up. She knew she shouldn't have thrown that knife at him. All right, here we go.
Yeah, and that's what it was. She threw a knife at him.
My apologies for being absolutely fucking covered in blood.
Listen, you don't have to apologize, okay? I completely understand. Alright? Things happen, and we can't control it. Okay? So, you don't have to apologize for anything, alright? Detective Rashid.
Michael Love.
And the reason why I'm talking about this is because I want to talk about the dangers of divesting. Whether if you're a black woman or a black man, well, the quote unquote, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Michael Love, before we watch this debauchery, he is making it rain in the chat. Michael Love, I haven't seen you in so long. If you guys are receiving a membership from Michael Love in the moment, please tell him thank you. He's such a big pillar of my community. You know, when it's off trial season, we got to get creative, Michael. We got to get super creative. And so we prepare for trials as they come up. I really want to thank you for all your support. I've been thinking about you and others that have really helped us develop this community, especially for members, right? So if you are receiving a membership right now from Michael Love, say thank you. And Michael, because I haven't seen you, I know I can announce this. And for all of you guys that have missed some of the last streams, we are developing an AV app, okay? Only for members. Once we have this app, it's gonna live off of YouTube. It's the same company that does Tasha K's, all right? So I'm really excited, but I've really looked at the data that we had and the research that we've done for this membership community all year and the gifting portion, because when people come in and they gift, I love that. But for those that really rock with me, I want to create a special community where y'all weigh in on what this app looks like. So if you just got one of these memberships, it's actually a perfect time to use it.
Trigger is going to be used to start and stop recording. And then on this side here, you have
perfect time to use it. I'm going to start polling you because this app is going to be developed.
From Austin to Miami. Took us like 2 days.
I wish you weren't speaking so low.
He went the whole way. So I took that does he
Hope y'all can hear it.
Does he have any family?
He does, yes. His mom and grandma, he's closest to.
Mom and grandma?
Mm-hmm.
Where, here in Miami or?
They live in Dallas. I think just their mom.
This is the interrogation. And again, I'm not going to play all of this.
A lot, but I think that they're back in Dallas. He has a brother that lives in, I think Houston. I don't know where his sister lives.
So they're all from Texas. But Nigerian family.
None of theirs, no.
No. Do you have it on your phone number, on your phone?
I think that I would have his mom on my phone for sure, and then maybe his grandma.
What's his mom's name?
You know, he told me. I think I'm terrible at that.
I feel like I remember.
And I met her multiple times. I've been to her house, and that's pretty bad.
I mean, how many times have you seen her?
I think 4 times.
Yeah, so.
I think she's still like under the influence here.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I wouldn't imagine to like remember somebody's name that easy. I'm really bad at remembering names. So, again. How about his brothers? His brothers you know?
He's very, like, not, I guess, like, too thorough with talking about. I mean, that's not really probably like the word, but now like too thorough. I feel like I calmed down a little.
I was going to do something here from Chess Charday, but after this little bit of the interrogation, I'm going to play something from Annie Lee's concerning Sadie Robinson, and I want to put the Chess Charday portion in its own live stream, because I already been here for 2.5 hours.
A little bit when he told me like he's where's the talk? Okay, so I can talk to you. Like she's not really like that thorough or something.
Wow.
She doesn't really talk as much.
Y'all realize that? This detective got her so comfortable, now she's chilling. Like, oh, he's alive? He's alive? I didn't kill him? He's not dead yet? Like, he's not dead? Well, now I can feel comfortable in telling you everything you need to know. This chick probably told on herself.
Most likely.
Where's your family?
In Austin.
You're all in Austin?
All in Austin, yeah.
Do you have a big family, small family?
I am the most. I'm the closest.
I wish AV put chapters on this one, but I don't think she did.
What's your mom's name?
Pepper.
And your dad's?
Nah, she didn't put no chapters on this one.
What are their last names?
Clenny. C-O-E-N-N-Y.
Let me bump this up a little bit.
Oh my God. You know how many people get in trouble all the time and they don't get a phone call? You just have to figure it out. It says you're an adult. You don't need the permission from your father. If you were under 18, I would allow you to call home. You're over 18. She says, I don't feel like it. Ma'am, this is already going off the rails.
I still go to them too for questions that they've dealt with in the past.
Okay. My dad handles I'm so freaking out right now a little bit. Like I want to go to the hospital and I want to just call my fucking mom. And I know that I do not get that right. You know it. But here's the thing, is that this is constitutional rights waiver. My dad handles my lawyer. I'm not going to take a court-appointed lawyer. My dad handles my lawyer. I would not be calling my lawyer. So my dad is the first person that I call, if that makes sense. I've never been in a situation like this where somebody's in a hospital. I've never been in this kind of situation. That's why, like, I don't want to do anything wrong. You know? You know?
I mean, it's your decision at the end of the day. But
what happens if not?
If not, then that's it. We don't talk about what happened to her. We just have to take the stories that we've been told from people next door and previous situations, and try and narrow it down to what happened to him. You get a much better picture, a much better idea coming from you who was there too, and us trying to piece it together from other people as well. You know, there's no better story to get than yours, Jose. So which is why we prepared for you. But you know, like you said, it's your decision if you want to or not. But for us to obviously proceed and make a better decision for all of us, it's getting your story. You know, you were there.
My boyfriend is not dead, is he?
Well, he can't talk to us right now. Either way, he's in the hospital.
Jack is just homicide.
Yeah, so I don't know.
It's like the Dexter vibe. All of
the
these things are like.
To you on scene, it's Sunday. So Sunday, the domestic violence scenes don't work.
Basically, the only thing she cares about is he dead or is he alive? Which with this chick, she didn't care about this dude anyway.
So we handle their calls anytime the domestic violence calls, we handle it for them. And so that's why we were raised for the beginning.
Can I go and come back?
No, unfortunately, we can't. Steps. You know, once we handle this, we'll go to the next step.
Is there a chance I'm gonna go home tonight?
I don't have a definite.
No, Courtney. Okay, well I'll just. I need to.
Can't go home. Make sure you guys vote for the poll. Looks like a majority of y'all want to start Julio today. I've got time. We can do it. Need some more votes though.
Let's start from the start.
We shouldn't be there.
You say go 1 or 2 or just too many 2?
Oh my god. Oh my god. I haven't touched my ankle. It's like 100% live. I just want to take a shower, God.
Oh my god. You say not have
No.
Okay, you know what? I don't have enough of this. Let's just go to this thing to just Sadie Robertson. Shout out to Annie Elise.
When you're out
I'll
the
be
way,
right back.
it's free and ready for anything. This is the Pro 90X from West Slope, and it's the perfect chest pack to take hunting. And it comes in a fit.
A suspicious death investigation underway following this gruesome discovery.
It's shocking. I've never covered anything like this before.
Some breaking news tonight and an investigation underway after a bizarre discovery.
A park goer had spotted a severed human leg.
Their daughter was found dead and dismembered after a first date last April.
She had the most angelic glow and aura around her.
Mentally, I can't accept it. I feel like I might lose the last piece of my sanity if I do.
It's an unimaginable pain the parents of Ashlee Robinson simply cannot escape.
Cutting off the breast, dismembering limbs, beheading her. Those acts, simply put, ladies and gentlemen, are the acts of a killer.
Hey True Crime Besties, welcome back to an all-new episode of Seriously. Hello. Welcome back to an all-new episode of Seriously with me, Annie Elise, your true crime bestie, here to break down another case for you today. Now, look, today's case that we're going to be talking about is one that happened just last year, and it drew everyone's attention, and I have received so many requests from you guys to cover this case. There also, when it first had emerged, there were a lot of unanswered questions at the time. But now it's back in the headlines because the trial just recently wrapped up, and it shed a lot of new light on what we thought this case really entailed. So today, because you guys have been requesting it, because there is still so much information that hasn't really been talked about and details that weren't really shared, I wanted to dive into everything. Who the victim was, what her story was, and of course, the journey to getting her justice. So, today's case, we are going to be talking about the story of Sade Robinson. In 2024, Sade Robinson was 19 years old and living in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And Sade was absolutely beautiful on both the inside and the outside. And you know when you kind of like look at a picture of somebody and you can almost just tell the kind of person that they are from that picture alone? That's how it was with Sade. And based on how her family and friends described her, her bright and happy smile that she possessed in almost every single one of these photos, it really did encompass the kind of person that she was. Her grandmother Linda also described her as being the sweetest person and somebody who was happy all the time. Her mother Sheena described her as someone who had this almost angelic glow and aura about her, which I have to say, that is like the nicest way that you could describe somebody. Saying that they have this angelic glow and an aura. I'll be honest, I don't think anybody's ever described me that way. Probably the opposite. They probably describe me as like a black cat energy. But, you know, whatever. But no, so everybody just said Sade was like this beam of light. Now, some other descriptions of Sade were that she was very independent and that she was the kind of person who made sure that everyone around them was always taken care of, always happy, always had a smile on their face. And apparently she also had this very unique laugh, which was described as, quote, unmatchable and iconic. Like if Sade was laughing from a different room or from, feet or yards away, you just knew it was her. You knew that it was her laugh. So all in all, she seemed like truly a one-of-a-kind person. Someone that was unforgettable with her friends and her family, with anyone she came into contact with. Now, like I mentioned, Sade was only 19 years old, so she was still very young in so many ways. Yet, despite her age, she was more than on the right track, and she had already made a lot of big strides toward the future that she wanted for herself. And really, if I'm being honest, I would say that for her age, she was more than above average when it came to her achievements. Like, not a lot of 19-year-olds were doing what Sade had done. From day one, Sade had always been this hustler and go-getter. If she wanted something, she was gonna get it, one way or another. She would figure out how to do it, but she would always get to it through hard work. She would never cut corners. She never expected any handouts either, or that things would be easy. She just would work hard and grind for the things that she wanted. And basically, if anybody out there were ever to call Sade lazy, then they would be like a bold-faced liar. Just not at all true. She even graduated high school a semester early, and she immediately enrolled into the criminal justice program at Milwaukee Area Technical College. She was set to graduate at the end of spring 2024. On top of that, right out of high school, she immediately began working 2 jobs. Like I said, a hustler. She worked at a local pizza shop called Pizza Shuttle, and then she also worked at a local country club. And something that I made a note of when looking at her background was that even the people that she worked with had a lot of positive things to say about her character, about who she was overall as a person. And I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but I am going to just kind of jump into why we're talking about this case today, because it was after she had failed to show up at one of her shifts at Pizza Shuttle that people immediately felt like something was wrong. And what's interesting about that, and I want you to make note of, is that usually if a 19-year-old skips out on their work shift, it typically is not a huge red flag. We know that a lot of 19-year-olds are not very reliable, right? They're drinking, they're partying, they're doing whatever. Even though I get it, it's underage. Like, they're 19. I mean, hell, usually if a 19-year-old didn't show up to work, you probably wouldn't think that something nefarious was going on. You would just think maybe they're hungover, maybe they got a new job, maybe they're just quitting. Who really knows? But the point being that when Sade didn't show up, they immediately knew that something was wrong. And I should just take a moment to mention here too, that even though Sade was born in Mississippi originally, Milwaukee was now her home, and it's what came to be her home. Her family had moved there when she was only 2 years old, and once her parents split up, she would split time between Milwaukee with her mom and then Florida where her dad Carlos lived. So Milwaukee was mainly what she knew from a very young age. So now that we've gone over a bit of Sade's background, who she was as a person, what she liked to do, her jobs, I want to get into more of the root of the case, the foundation of why we're here, and unfortunately, more of the disturbing and very heartbreaking parts of Sade's story. So April 1st, 2024 was supposed to be a big day for Sade. You see, she had a date, and it was a first date at that. Now, for some people, the idea of going on a first date is a literal nightmare. It's awkward. You have to go through a lot of things. You have to figure out what you're going to say, what you're going to wear. Is it going to be like a super uncomfortable, awkward dinner date? What are you going to ask the other person? It can just be like, foreign. It's a lot. I personally, when I think about first dates that I went on, it's like a horror show. I hated it. But Sade did not feel that way. She was not dreading it, not even a little bit. Now, whether it was because she was really into this new person that she was meeting, or if she was just the type of person who didn't stress about this kind of stuff, I'm not entirely sure. Maybe it was a little bit of both. But regardless, she was clearly very excited about the date. And she was telling pretty much anyone in her life that was willing to listen all about the exciting news, all about this first date. And that's not an exaggeration either. She even told one of the workers in her apartment building that she was going on a date that night, and she was telling them how excited she was. A maintenance worker at her apartment complex. So her friends knew, her coworkers knew, everyone knew. And all day long, Sade prepared for her date. She was going through the tedious process of deciding what she wanted to wear, how she was going to do her hair, her makeup, all the fun stuff, that us women have to worry about. And that day, Sade and her date, 33-year-old Maxwell Anderson, were texting back and forth nonstop, deciding what place they wanted to go, where their first date was going to take place. And apparently, Sade had told him that she was in the mood for seafood that night, which, lucky for her, Maxwell knew of a couple places in town that they could go to. In fact, both of the places that he had suggested were restaurants or bars that he had previously worked at. So he had a really good idea of where to get the best food, where to get the best drinks, things like that. So the two of them started their night at a restaurant called Twisted Fisherman. They ate dinner, they chatted, and apparently the date was going pretty well because instead of calling it a night, they decided to keep the night going. Sade and Maxwell decided they were going to go to the next location. They were going to go to a bar called Duke's on the Water. Now, Maxwell was a bartender, and he had been for years. So just like the Twisted Fisherman, Duke's on the Water was also somewhere that he had previously worked. So the two of them arrived at Duke's around 6:15 p.m., and they ended up staying until around 9 p.m. or so. So again, this date was seemingly going pretty well. They were having a great time. They weren't going to call it a night and wait for date 2. They just wanted to keep it going, even after Duke's. Because after Duke's that night, Sade and Maxwell went back to Maxwell's place. This was around 9:24 p.m.
And that's what she fucked up at. She went back to the dude's place. Ladies, don't go to a guy's place on the first date. Get to know the guy, then maybe you can go to his place.
Yeah. Now at this time, it seemed like everything was okay. A nearby surveillance camera caught two people arriving at his home, which presumably was Maxwell and Sade. So by all accounts, you would think that this night went extremely well, maybe even more than well. Maybe it had been a great first date. They were, in fact, going back to his house afterward. But what Sade had not realized is that once Maxwell's front door closed that night, she would never come back outside of it alive again.
Nightcrawler lets you snag great last-minute deals on hotels. For when your sleeping arrangement...
We're finally in the middle of summer, the full throes of summer, the time where everybody Mint Mobile plan, and you can bring your phone. I don't like calling to head home. I mean, she was 19. She was also living on her own. It's not like she had a curfew. If she wanted to go on a date until the early morning hours, I mean, she certainly could. However, instead of her phone showing that it went back to Sade's house and then stayed there for the rest of the night, like you would imagine would happen if she really was the one with her phone and going back home, the GPS location showed that her phone went to a bunch of very different and very odd locations. And these locations weren't places that could be easily explained away. I mean, it's not like she stopped at the local Taco Bell or Del Taco for a late night snack or something. Because at first, the GPS showed that her phone went to a place called Pleasant Valley Park. And the thing that stands out most about that park, that one in particular, is that it is right alongside the Milwaukee River. Huge red flag. Why is she going to a park next to a river in the middle of the night? Then her phone went to yet another park. This time, a park called Warnemart Park. Now by this time, it was around 2:45 a.m., so obviously another huge red flag. 2 separate parks in the middle of the night, it just screams that something's going on or someone is up to no good, right? Not to mention, this second park also has a body of water that's connected to it. Only this time, it's much bigger. In fact, the park itself is known for its stunning beaches that are connected to Lake Michigan, which, for those of you who aren't familiar, it's not a small lake, not by any stretch of the imagination. It is massive. It literally looks like you're on the ocean, like you're oceanfront. That's how vast it is. So, do I need to mention how big of a red flag this is? Probably not. Now, Sade's GPS showed that her phone was at this park for quite some time. And on top of that, surveillance cameras were also able to catch her car on camera. However, with this footage, you couldn't really see much of who was on the inside, who was driving, or if anybody was in the passenger seat, or what exactly was inside. It was grainy, it was difficult to see. But then, eventually, at 4:31 a.m., her car was seen leaving the park. However, at this point, her phone had died. So at this point, the GPS wasn't tracking her phone and the phone's every movement at all anymore. It was almost like it just suddenly dropped off. And there was really no reason at all for her to be at all of these different parks. Whether she would have been alone, whether she would have been with a man that she had just met, there was no reason for it. It just wasn't safe. And her friends and her family have all said that Sade was very big on safety. Then, just hours later, a phone call came into 911. They reported that a blue Civic was on fire. And when officers arrived at the scene, they were immediately concerned. The car had been parked right behind this abandoned building, almost in a way that suggested that it wasn't meant to be seen right away. And luckily, I mean, nobody was inside of it. It wasn't like this tragic car accident or something, but with that, it indicated that it was purposeful. Somebody intentionally set this car on fire.
Yeah.
Now, lucky for the police, yet unlucky for whoever set this car on fire, there had been 2 women who witnessed this entire thing and who called 911 as soon as it happened. On top of that, there were also surveillance cameras in the area that also caught some pretty helpful tips. In these videos, these 2 women are seen watching someone who had a bigger sized tan backpack on their back. And this person is like walking over to the car and then lights the car on fire and starts walking away. One of the women starts waving their arms in the air, trying to get the attention of anybody else who is nearby, while the other person is seen pointing and even heard yelling at the person walking away, saying, "Hey, look, he did it, he's the one." And just based on the witnesses' versions of the story, even before checking that surveillance camera footage, the investigators knew right away that this was sketchy. I mean, it doesn't take a trained professional to piece together that somebody who's lighting a car on fire early in the morning, before most people are even awake, and then taking off and leaving it behind in an abandoned building. I mean, that obviously screams, I'm trying to cover something up, right? Not to mention, whoever had done this really made sure that the fire would do some damage. I mean, the car was completely destroyed. Despite that, though, the investigators were able to piece together 2 very important pieces of evidence. Number 1, the car's VIN number and license plate came back as belonging to none other than Sade Robinson, who, at this point, was not somebody that they were familiar with. But then on the inside of the car, there was a charred black jacket and jeans that were inside out. And that was the same outfit that Sade was wearing the night before, the night that she went on her first date. Though, again, the investigators had no idea who Sade was at this point. They didn't discover the relevance of that information. Now, a lot of different things were happening simultaneously on this day, on April 2nd. We have Sade's car that was discovered quite literally burnt to a crisp. It was in a very odd location that morning with no signs of her being anywhere. We also know that on that same day, Sade was scheduled for one of her work shifts, yet never showed up. So her manager and her coworkers kept calling her, kept texting her, yet they were getting no response. And like I mentioned in the beginning of this episode, Sade was a hard worker. She was a very dependable employee. She had hardly ever called off, and if she did, she was the type of person that would have requested the day off ahead of time. One of her managers even said that if she was going to be just 5 minutes late, she always made sure to text them. She would always update them. So given that information, I'm not even sure if she had ever even done anything like this before, which was probably why everybody was so concerned. So the manager at the pizza shuttle continued texting Sade, just extremely worried that she hadn't come in for her shift that day, messaging her multiple times, begging for her to just, even if you're not coming in, let me know that you're okay. We're just worried about you. She wasn't going to ask why she didn't come in. She wasn't going to harass her for not giving them a heads up that she was not coming in. She just wanted to know and hear from Sade that she was okay. She even drove by Sade's apartment looking for her car in the parking lot, which I will say, in pretty much any other scenario, a manager showing up to your apartment building would probably be borderline harassment. But in this case, it just shows how quickly people noticed that Sade's absence was a big deal and they were worried for her. I think it says a lot. Now, the manager also knew that Sade lived alone. They had come to know each other for quite some time at this point, so she kind of felt this sense of protection over Sade. Not to mention, I think that sometimes we just get those gut feelings, right, where it just you can tell in your gut that something's truly wrong, right? Now, at the same time, Sade's family and friends were also noticing her absence. They noticed that she was essentially silent. Again, she was someone who kind of followed a very strict routine in her daily life. She didn't just fly by the seat of her pants and just do whatever. So none of this was typical behavior. If her friends or her family members ever called or ever texted her, she would answer. But now she wasn't. And the people who knew and loved Sade the most said she was not somebody who was naive. Even though she was, yes, young, she knew how scary and how cruel the world could be, especially living in a bigger city. And like I said, she was big on safety, which is also why she always would share her location, and she shared it with multiple friends. She did that so that somebody would always know where she was at. And remember all those different locations at very odd times that I had mentioned before? Well, the reason that those were even first discovered was all because her friends had started backtracking her movements after she didn't return their phone calls or their text messages. They knew that something was wrong, so they started looking at the tracking, saying where she had gone, where is the last time that she had any sort of movement. And then it was after they saw how odd all of these movements were that Sade's friends decided to call the police. They reported her missing at around 9 p.m. that evening. Now, what nobody in Sade's life realized, though, was that a few hours earlier, before Sade was ever even officially reported as missing, human remains had been found at that second park. And those remains would later be identified as belonging to Sade.
It really is a great moneymaker for small businesses. Really one simple solution, one click.
Sade. But that was only the very beginning of this case. As soon as Sade was officially reported as missing, the investigators immediately got this sinking pit in their stomach. You see, the remains that were found hours before were just that, remains. It wasn't a full body. It was bits and pieces. And the sad truth of it all is the only thing that had been found that day was a leg.
So, man, this is Evan Millies. We've dealt with him before. Sometimes, mostly good guy. He's got in this trouble a couple times, but good dude. Okay. So they walked down the S curve from Sheridan, started walking south just for fun, rough day on the beach. As they were walking, see that leg right there? Yeah. But then it was up about approximately where the end of that stick is, that branches. Bushes. Yeah, bushes. Said that they saw it up. So like up on the hill, kind of. Yeah. Okay. So said that him and his buddy who's in my squad right now. When we came back, it was about maybe 7 feet. 7 feet east. Quite a lot. I moved it just for evidence purposes. Okay. So they just walked away. Yeah. Okay. And I documented it well on body cam with different angles of where it was. All right, cool. You gotta. What's your name again, bud? Evan. Okay, Evan. How long were you out here? About probably an hour. An hour? Yeah. Okay. You should come this way? Yeah. Yeah? The first time you see anything? Yeah. Yeah? It's the first time you see anything like this? Yeah. Yeah? Okay. Alright, Evan. Just hang tight, don't go anywhere, okay? Yeah.
Now, through finding this leg, although they didn't have the full body, they were able to identify that the remains belonged to a black woman who was about 5 feet tall, which fit Sade's exact description. Then add on to the fact that her car was found earlier that day and was, again, had been burst into flames. Her clothing was charred inside of it. It just didn't really feel like there was going to be some sort of positive resolution to all of this. So not too long after those remains were recovered, it was positively identified through preliminary DNA evidence that they belonged to Sade, which I just cannot imagine how her friends and family felt in that moment. I mean, one moment she's alive, she's thriving, she's this young 19-year-old with her whole life ahead of her. And then the next, she's just gone. And not even just gone, you don't even know where her full body is.
I just got in at 1 o'clock on April 3rd, and there's a loud bang at the door. I just seen my baby that Sunday on Easter. We just did family dinner at my parents'. Monday morning, she FaceTimes me on her way to work. That Monday morning was the last time Mommy got to talk to her baby. That's Sade. It's my baby.
At what point did you realize that your child was missing and she wasn't coming back?
I think when they came to my house, when the sheriff department came, like 1 o'clock in the morning to get my DNA, it kind of hit home because I was in denial, and I would tell Sheena that it's not her. It's got to be a logical explanation for this, and I'm still probably in denial to some point. I can't help it. I just can't accept this. I can't accept it. I feel like I might lose the last piece of my sanity if I do.
It's important to note that at this point in the investigation, the detectives did not believe, of course, that Sade was still alive. I mean, I know it's not too often that people would cut off body parts on their victims and then let them live, especially an entire leg, but I still wanted to just specify that just in case there was any confusion. Nobody here thought that she could possibly still be alive out there. And the truth of it was, this wasn't just an act of torture. I mean, maybe so in the grand scheme of things, but they knew that this was an attempted cover-up of a murder. Now, because Sade had made it known to literally everyone that she was going on that date the night before, there was immediately a rough timeline that was put into place. Even without many details, people of course started to guess what could have possibly happened to her, or more specifically, who had done this to her. And I'm not sure if she had given her family all of Maxwell's details, his name, his all of this, I don't know, or if the investigators were just able to quickly identify and find all of that information. But regardless, they knew right away who the last person to have seen her alive was. And they very quickly zeroed in right on the fact that he was most likely the one who had done this to her. So on April 4th, at around 1:15 p.m., the investigators were able to track down Maxwell. And sure enough, they arrested him in his car just a few blocks away from his house.
32 headed to southbound Hampton on, 45 southbound Hampton on for a pothole return for highway.
Nothing to him, sir?
No.
Head eye.
What's going on?
There's somebody just radio away.
Literally right now on Carpe's website, our 4-stick bundle deal is 56% off. It ships free, it comes with free gifts, it's the same amazing deodorant, just a massively different value. So if you're already on the fence, this is the moment to do it right instead of paying more later. There's no time to wait. Why are you waiting? Why would you wait? Skip Amazon altogether and click the link below right now before this deal disappears. It's most likely going to disappear soon, so you better click the link below now. This is my last time being nice. I'm done.
To start with, you have to have a steel backer that is completely flat, and that requires machining centers that can hold tight tolerances. And when you're silver soldering the carbide to the steel backing, you can't just simply do that by hand. It has to be done with a robotic induction solder to make sure that the carbide is centered, flat, and that the steel backer and the solder melts evenly between the two surfaces. And of course, you have to have the guides perfectly flat, and that's done on a series of CNC grinders. And after all that, the guides are finally sent off to quality control to make sure that each set of guides is within tolerance and specifications, because if they're out of tolerance, that will result in crooked cuts at the customer's facility. We are in the saw blade business, and our main focus is making saw blades last longer, cut faster, and more efficient for our customers. And selling black eye replacement guides is another way to increase our value to you, the customer. Our company has been around since 1986, and we've learned a lot since we started as a local bandsaw blade distributor. Probably the most important thing we've learned is that you really have to provide an advantage to your customer. And that's done through the highest quality products at a competitive price and reducing our customers' overall expenses. I think it's that focus that took us from being a local bandsaw blade distributor into a worldwide company. Our company has a
Now, for those of you who might be listening to this instead of watching the video version on YouTube, I'll briefly describe what happened in that clip to you. Maxwell was being handcuffed and kind of patted down by the officers, and his overall demeanor, it was cool, calm, collected. The only question he even asked was, "What's going on?" And he didn't even bother asking it twice. He just kind of said it almost like to his surprise. Maybe it's because he knew what was going on. Maybe it's because he wasn't a total idiot and he knew to keep his mouth shut. Who the heck really knows? But when they checked his vehicle at the scene, they found the exact same hoodie in the back of his car that mystery person had been seen wearing in that security camera footage. The footage where those two witnesses saw this person, torch the car on fire and then walk away. So it was now just another piece of the puzzle that was coming together. And that same day, after Maxwell's arrest, the investigators were able to get a search warrant for his house. And once they were inside, they found some very interesting things. The first being several gas cans, which I think is probably pretty self-explanatory considering that he, set Sade's car on fire. But the main thing that I want to talk with you about, though, is that there was blood found in both his bedroom and his bathroom, which you would probably assume that if Sade was dismembered, and if there was blood that was found at the place that she was last seen at, that blood would probably belong to her, right? Well, that's the interesting thing here. They tested the blood, and the preliminary testing came back with some kind of odd results. It didn't match Sade's DNA. Now, does this automatically mean that he's innocent? No, not necessarily. However, it is odd, and I'll be honest, it's something that I was worried about and was worried was possibly going to throw a wrench into things during the trial. So as they're doing this investigation, they still, of course, are looking for the rest of Sade, for more evidence, for her body parts, for just more evidence and clues into this investigation. And sure enough, one day after Maxwell's arrest, so now on April 6th, 2024, a human foot was found. Now this time, the remains were found in a different location. And there are two really big things about this finding. Number one is that it was found in the same general area where Sade's car had been burned, where it had been abandoned behind that building. Which, coincidence? I don't know. You be the judge, but I would say unlikely. Now the second thing is that it was identified as being a positive match to the leg that was found, aka the leg that had been identified as belonging to Sade. So the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel wrote that there was also, quote, other human flesh that was found in the same area that her foot was found. Now, I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means tissue, skin, or what. I think we can kind of guess exactly what that means. No specific body parts, just pieces of her that were scattered. And maybe the pieces had already been that way. Maybe it was the work of animals. I don't really know, but it is horrific to think about and to say out loud. Now, even though they were finding more evidence, it wasn't until a full week after Maxwell was arrested that he was officially charged with first-degree intentional homicide. He also was charged with mutilation of a corpse and arson. And while Maxwell sat in jail awaiting his trial, Sure enough, more of Sade's remains kept turning up. You guys know that my husband is a massive coffee drinker, right? I've talked to you about. Her head being one of them. Now, while we're on the topic of Sade's remains being found, I do want to go over what the medical examiners were able to determine, as well as the autopsy report. Like in many dismemberment cases, it was really difficult to pin down an exact cause of death. Add to the fact that a lot of her remains were found in water and badly decomposed, I mean, it made this even more challenging, right? That being said, the medical examiner wasn't able to determine a cause of death, though Sade's manner of death has always, from day one, been listed as a homicide. Despite that, the medical examiner still was able to provide some helpful information, though. For one, she believes that Sade was stabbed multiple times, though she was not able to tell if that was pre-mortem or post-mortem, meaning she doesn't know if the cause of death was via stabbing or if this sick, twisted freak stabbed her body after the fact when he was doing the dismembering. She also believes that Sade was dismembered with some kind of knife and that the dismemberment was after she was already deceased, which, thank goodness. Can you imagine if this freaking barbarian dismembered her while she was still alive? That would be just like so vile and horrific. Now, what I also want to mention too is that something really important to note in all of this is that there was absolutely no chance of any drugs or alcohol being the cause of her death. So nothing that could have been construed as accidental or an overdose or anything like that. Not in her talks, not at all possible, according to the medical examiner. And you might be wondering, okay, well, why are you saying that that information is so important? Well, it's because it eliminates Maxwell and his defense team from being able to come up with some bullshit sob story at his trial about her passing away in her sleep from overdosing or from being too drunk that night after they went on their date, and then him just panicking over her death and dismembering her so that he wouldn't get in trouble. It kind of eliminates the idea of accidental death being a factor. And I know it sounds crazy and like nobody would ever believe that, but we have seen it happen before. It's almost like the go-to story when somebody's defense team knows that they're screwed regardless of the situation.
I want to go ahead and end this live stream here. Um, and like I said, I'm gonna come back with it. I'm gonna put the Chad Sade stuff in a separate live stream. Um, this live stream, for me, I'm gonna be honest, was not an easy live stream for me to do, but nonetheless, it needed to be done. Um, I hope that y'all that want to divest see a lot of the warning signs that I put out here. Um, and again, this is not me hating on people who want to divest this, that, and the third. But like I said, this is me just putting out the good, the bad, and the ugly. With that being said, thank y'all for being here. Thank you to Messing with Sean. Thank you to Smell the Roses. Let me see who else was here. Okay, I'm not sure if anybody else was here, but if you were here, thank you. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see y'all again soon. Peace.